Welcome, everybody, to the best show on TV. I am your host, the Cannonball, Alex Steele.
I am the package, Andrew Steele.
This is Voice Acting. Okay, I'm not sure why I said TV show, but nonetheless, if you're watching us on your TV or your computer monitor, thank you guys so much. You know, this is it, Steel Twins Gaming. You know, we're here, we're live and in charge, and I spent the last 6 minutes, just so you guys are aware, there's a really nice stream on the other side, right over there on Facebook Gaming, called Teaching Anthem or something, where he's doing like these he plays Warzone, but when he gets warmed up, he plays these word puzzles. And we were sitting there on that stream for the past like 7 minutes, trying to figure out what word they were trying to guess, and we might have actually figured it out too quickly. So anyway, it was fun. But anyway, this is it right here, the conclusion to Bridge to the Turnabout.
It's lawyer versus college sweetheart. Phoenix Wright versus Dhalia Hawthorne. The battle of all battles begins.
Well, I mean, there's definitely a lot of story arcs that are going to come to a conclusion here. And my man Package here says we're going to be here for the full 2 hours, maybe more. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the game audio on.
Yes.
Ya big dummy.
Yep. Oh, yeah, big,
Triforce Hero says objection.
Objection.
That he's warmed up. He knows what's up.
Oh yeah.
He knows exactly what's up.
Yeah. Thanks for turning into the stream, brother. Thank you for joining the stream. We're just about to get going.
Yes, that's right. I mean, and literally, like, click, click, boom. Like, here we go. So we're opening it up, and our favorite characters are here. And, yeah, definitely no objections to be heard here. So we're looking for 150 YouTube subscribers. We're looking for 100 Twitch followers, and we're looking for 200 followers on the book face. So, I mean, I can't wait. I've been waiting like 7 days, like a kid, like JoJo, the little Indian circus pet.
With a pretty new pet.
Except our pet is the conclusion to this case. So, Triforce Hero and everybody else sitting in here, you know, just strap in and just prepare to have a blasty blast. We are ready to dive right in. So, February 10th, 1:06 p.m., District Court, courtroom number 7.
Fellas, got you on my laptop while I get my overlays all sorted. Been meaning to tune in, but we've been caught up with stuff. Can't wait.
Is this our old friend Chris Lampson by chance? Because I think that, you know, I believe that we could be dealing with that. I mean, because I know that one of my buddies was trying to get his, yep, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Love you, buddy.
Love you, buddy.
Love you, buddy. Yep. Our old buddy Chris Lampson is getting a stream put together. Got his old school stuff put together, so he'll be available soon. All right, let's go. I don't want to delay any longer.
Good news. The check cleared. It's go time.
Now then, let's continue where we left off, shall we? Well, witness?
Yes. How can I help you, Mr. Judge?
Well, it seems that if we're to learn the truth, we'll need to hear your testimony.
I have no problem with that. But when you see what I have, sometimes the truth is better left unknown.
In any case, let's hear your testimony. Tell us about the plan that was carried out that night. Now, just to recap, so Elise Donham, a picture book writer, came up to the mountains to a retreat. It turns out that she, in fact, was Misty Faye, the leader of the Korean channeling school. Her daughters are Mia and Maya Faye. Mia was killed in the first episode. According to Marie Barker, thanks for liking the stream.
Courtney Barker, thanks.
Okay, if we recap, it's going to take forever. But basically, there were twins that carried out this murder plan, and a spirit was channeled from the dead to try to carry out some nefarious deed.
Yep.
So here we go. What about that plan?
Listen carefully. This could be important.
The whole plan began with my death. A stupid plan hatched by Morgan Fay to install her own daughter as the next master. But for it to work, Maya Fay would first have to die. The idea was for me to kill Maya and then have the blame pinned on Iris. The plan went wrong, but it seems to have succeeded anyway.
So that means you really are... Hold it! Wait a minute. Did you just say the plan was to kill Maya Fay?
Yes? You have a problem with that?
Don't give us that nonsense. There's no way that...
Watch yourself, Wright. If you've got a problem, solve it during cross-examination. That's one of my rules.
Mr. Cadeau is correct. And by the way, that's one of my rules as well. To kill Maya. Could it be true?
We're going to need all that information at this. I say we just grill it. Grill her like a hamburger.
Absolutely.
The whole plan began with my death.
Hold it. You were executed last month, correct?
Yes, I was hanged. It wasn't exactly pleasant.
How did you manage to discuss the plan? When did you talk with Morgan Fay?
Last year, she was transferred to the same detention center as me. Since I was on death row and she was my mother, it was actually pretty easy to meet with her.
I see. So that's when you discussed the plan.
Ha! Are you crazy? At first, that woman was planning to kill me as well. Even though I am her own daughter.
All to make Pearl Fay the master of Karain.
She's a cold, twisted woman. She thought she could finally regain her lost honor. The honor she lost when her younger sister, Misty, took her place as the master. Ever since that day, she's been working on this plan.
A plan, huh?
What plan?
What plan? So, yep. Hey, to Courtney Marie Barker, I'm going to have to really keep on my toes here.
Yep.
A stupid plan hatched by Morgan Fay to install her own daughter as the next master.
Hold it! You're talking about Pearl Fay, is that correct?
Yes, though at first she had high hopes for the two of us.
You and your twin sister, Iris?
That's correct. Fortunately, neither of us had much spiritual power. That's why we were abandoned by her, along with our father.
Abandoned?
The only person I ever really cared about in life was myself. My sister was a nuisance, so I convinced my father to leave her at an old temple.
You mean Iris?
Yes, my father remarried a woman who also had a daughter. The less children you have, the more money there is to go around, right? And on top of that, my father had absolutely no interest in children in general.
How horrible.
The really horrible one was that woman. That bitter, vengeful woman. It was her stubbornness that gave birth to that child, Pearl Fay. She was born with an abundance of spiritual power. Unfortunately for her, Morgan Fay heaped all of her broken hopes and dreams onto that poor child's back. All because of her pathetic dreams of having her bloodline become the main family. But for it to work, Maya Fay would first have to die.
Hold it! Maya would have to die? But why?
For our bloodline to succeed as a main family, thus making Pearl the new master. The remaining descendants of the current master had to be taken care of.
Objection! The Pearls would never agree to a plan like that. She adores Maya.
How sad. You still don't get it, do you? What Pearl wanted had nothing to do with it. Morgan didn't care one bit about Pearl. The only thing she cared about was the position of the master. That's all.
That's ridiculous.
She was willing to sacrifice anything and anyone to achieve her goal. The life of her daughter, and naturally, the life of Maya Fey as well.
How could anyone do that?
The idea was for me to kill Maya and then have the blame pinned on Iris.
Hold it. You? You were gonna kill Maya?
Pearl didn't need to know anything about it. All she had to do was to follow the instructions on the letter and channel me. Then I would have simply used her body and finished the job. In any case, I'm already dead, and there's nothing any of you can do to me.
So the plan was to blame the crime on your younger twin, on Sister Iris of Hazakura Temple.
She and I look absolutely identical. No one can tell us apart. If someone were to witness me killing Maya, naturally they would think that it was Iris that had done it.
And the witness in this case was the head nun, Sister Bikini.
I never would have guessed she was going to return to Hazakura Temple that night. But she wound up seeing Iris's crime anyway.
But why did you want to pin the murder on Iris in the first place? She's your twin sister, isn't she?
Twin sister? Don't make me laugh. She's nothing but a backstabber. I couldn't care less about her.
Backstabber?
You just don't understand. You never will. Anyway, the plan went wrong, but it seems to have succeeded anyway.
Hold it. You think the plan was a success?
You heard me. Just as that woman had hoped, Maya Fey is dead. Now the title of the master will pass on to Pearl Fey.
Objection! That's absurd! She's just trapped! Trapped inside the sacred cavern!
Really? You're as foolishly optimistic as ever, aren't you? My darling Feeny. You want to know the truth? Ever since we met, I've despised you. Your sniveling naivete and your pathetic faith in other people.
I just want to know one thing. What did you personally think of Morgan Fay's plan?
I told you already, didn't I? It was a stupid plan. It had no point, no value other than fulfilling her own greedy desires. Yes, it was certainly nothing to be proud of.
If that's how you feel, why did you help her carry it out? Why would you do it? Why would you kill Maya?
You may not understand it, being the kind and gentle soul that you are. You may not be able to appreciate why someone like me would help a woman like that.
So then tell me, why?
Isn't it obvious? I'm not like that woman. I only act in my own self-interest. The reason I helped her was for myself. For my own personal satisfaction.
What did you say? So this woman, Dhalia Hawthorne, she had her own reason for wanting Maya dead.
Do you understand why I would kill Maya Fey now? What my goal was?
Well, present something. I think I know why.
All right, well, let's see here.
Could it be revenge? Revenge on a certain person?
Okay, so we're talking about a person, right?
Go to a profile.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out who... Okay. Well, it's either... Now, hang on a second. Misty Fey was the person that... Yeah, that's probably what it was.
The victim. No, that can't be.
Well, you don't think so. Why not?
Well, let me ask you a question. Who was responsible for Dhalia's death sentencing?
No way.
Not...
Well, he's not listed, but...
Nope.
Okay, so who? Okay, so other than well, either I guess
I think
the
Mia.
judge or
I think Mia.
right because of the fact that she was the one. Yep, she was the one that got found out about the poison bottle, the whole deal. Objection. Could it be that your actual goal had nothing to do with Maya Fey herself?
As I said, none of you have the power to punish me anymore, because I'm already dead. Well, I had the same problem, you see. You can't punish the dead, and you can't take revenge against them either.
You wanted to take revenge on someone?
I was sentenced to die because of that woman, Mia Fey.
I somehow knew this was it.
I wanted to send her a message. It was at her hands that I suffered my first humiliation. I wanted her to feel the same pain she made me feel. Sadly, when I realized revenge was impossible, I gave up.
And the reason it was impossible was perhaps because Mia Fey had already died?
Yes, and I realized there's only one way to take revenge against the dead.
And how do you do that?
Even when the body dies, the spirit, the ego, it lives on forever.
Remember that.
Oh dear. And according to Marie Barker, I say, hey again, thanks for following along on the stream. I do see your comment in the chat. We're just plowing right through this.
I wanted to take away the person that Mia Fey loved most. I wanted to kill her with my own hands. That would be the one and only way I could take my revenge against Mia Fey. That was the reason I helped out with that woman's plans.
Just for that? For that you would kill Maya? Your goal was no different than that of Morgan Fey. As they say, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. What a cruel plan. Cruel, cold, and heartless.
Evil.
Don't waste your time preaching to the dead. I've already told you, there's not a thing you can do to me. That night, the murmuring
Dead.
Sorry.
At about 9:30 p.m., I materialized into this world. I quickly pinned my hair up and put on a demon warding hood. Then I picked up the staff that was by my side and left Hazakura Temple.
So, it was Elise Donham who channeled her after all.
That ridiculous head nun never noticed a thing. She left Maya Fey at the inner temple and wobbled back clutching her poor old back.
What did you do then?
That kid was easier to handle than I had hoped. I caught up with her in front of the stone lantern. Then I took out the dagger I got from the storeroom and... Hyah!
So then you're saying you stabbed Maya?
It's strange, but I don't have a clear memory of what happened after that.
What does that mean? No clear memory?
I don't know. I think I was stabbed.
You were stabbed?
At the last minute, Maya Fey must have stabbed me. I'm sure of it.
Objection! That's not like her at all. Maya wouldn't stab a French fry with a plastic fork.
Anyway, I suddenly lost consciousness. But before I did, I scrawled her name on the lantern. Just as I was passing out, I wrote Maya behind my back. I had hoped it would cast suspicion on her.
I can't believe she was thinking of that until the bitter end.
That's where my memory temporarily stops.
It stops?
I don't have any memory of actually killing Maya Fey with my own two hands. My very last memory was... Maya's terror-filled eyes. When I woke up after that, I was in the sacred cavern surrounded by darkness.
You were in the sacred cavern?
The entrance was sealed with one of those trick locks. Somehow I had been trapped in there.
But how did you wind up in there?
I'd like to know that myself. Anyway, I was worried. I didn't know whether or not Maya Fey was dead, and I swore I wouldn't return to the underworld until I knew I had killed her myself.
For a ghost, you're one tough cookie.
I wanted to get out of there and make sure she was dead. But I couldn't do it. I couldn't get out.
The trick lock stopped you? The trick lock stopped you, huh?
I didn't know how to remove it.
So then you're saying you were actually confined against your will inside this sacred cavern?
Yes, I wanted to get rid of that annoying lock as soon as possible.
Hey, Lamson, is he? You're saying the murmuring dead? Can you hear us both clearly? So anyway,
But it wasn't easy. I kept getting interrupted while I was working on it.
interrupted.
It was early in the morning, but somehow came into the training hall.
What? Who? Could it have been Maya?
I thought the same thing, but I couldn't see.
Why not?
If someone had spotted me, I would have lost my chance to take revenge. So I made sure to hide myself well at the back of the sacred cavern.
That morning, only 2 people could have gone into the training hall.
Yes, sir. Clear as day. Was talking about the court crowd you two impersonated. All good.
Yeah, okay. That morning, only 2 people could have gone into the training hall. Maya and Pearls. Pearls went there to cover the hanging scroll and gravy.
Still, I finally managed to remove the lock. But I was too late.
What do you mean by that?
The flies had already started to gather. The bridge had been fixed and the police...
The bridge had been fixed and the police had started their investigation, correct?
Naturally, I couldn't go out. So instead, I returned to the cavern and put the lock back on myself. I realized I wouldn't get a chance to see Maya's corpse as I had hoped. But just then, Lady Luck showed up.
Lady Luck?
After that big earthquake, she showed up all by herself.
The real Iris?
She said she'd come to make sure the sacred cavern was all right. Stupid girl. I came out from the sacred cavern and got a feel for the situation. And I locked her away in my place. I had finally learned exactly what had happened. It was then that I learned that the plan had actually succeeded.
What do you mean your plan had succeeded?
I had misunderstood one thing, you see. That night, the one that had summoned me, I had assumed that it was Pearl Fey.
Well, of course you would have assumed that. It was written in the instructions.
But I was wrong. The person that had actually called my spirit back was... Misty Fey, the picture book author.
What?
What?
Well, that's really the only possibility, isn't it? After I lost consciousness in the garden, it was her body that was left lying there. Maya Fey. I wasn't able to kill her with my own hands after all. But even so, I made her commit the most vile sin a human can commit.
And that is...
Matricide. The sin of killing her own mother.
No way! Order! Order in the court! What is the meaning of this?
It's true that I was the one who attacked Maya Fey, but even so, the murderer who actually snuffed out Misty Fey's life was none other than your darling little Maya.
Objection! Ridiculous! That's nonsense!
Are you sure about that? Just think about it. There's even evidence supporting these facts, isn't there?
What? What do you mean? What is this so-called evidence?
The fact that Maya Fey has disappeared is evidence enough, isn't it?
Huh?
The idea that she's still in the sacred cavern is just ridiculous. She wasn't able to escape from the inner temple. That much is obvious. In that case, there was only one place she could be.
Where?
Do I have to spell it out? The bottom of the Eagle River. Where else?
Eagle River?
Maya Fey killed her long-lost mother. Can you imagine the guilt she must have felt when she realized that? That's why she threw herself into the Eagle River. Most bodies that wind up in there are lost forever. So, what do you have to say now, Feeny?
Ring, ring, ring. Ring, 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 ring. Get your phone. Pick it up.
Oops. Sorry, that's my phone.
What kind of ringtone is that?
Godot here. Okay, thanks.
Was it something important?
They just finished removing the locks from the sacred cavern.
That's great! What about Maya?
There was a woman in the cave.
Was it Maya Fey?
It was the accused, Sister Iris.
Huh?
Don't look so surprised. I locked her in there yesterday. I just finished telling you that.
So, what about Maya? Where is she?
There was no one else found inside the sacred cavern.
No, it can't be.
I told you, didn't I? She's dead.
He's gonna lose it.
Oh no! No! No!
Oh my God.
It seems that this case has come to an end. A tragic end. It can't be. It can't be. Sadly, it appears the killer of Elise Dotem, also known as Misty Fey, was her own daughter, Maya Fey. Overcome with guilt for what she had done, Maya Fey jumped to her death in the raging waters of the Eagle River. It can't be.
Trite. Have you ever heard this one? Once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth, no matter how improbable it may seem.
What is that supposed to mean, Prosecutor Godot?
According to this witness, Maya Fey threw herself into the Eagle River. However, is that really the truth?
Huh?
Remember, this woman testified earlier that the bridge was already on fire when the murder was taking place in the garden, which means if Maya had thrown herself into the river, it must have been from the inner temple side near the bridge.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what we're thinking, right?
Yeah?
That's right. That's where she jumped from.
But that's impossible.
Oh, wait a minute. Because of the pendulum theory.
Aha! It's impossible to jump into the river from there.
What? What?
Don't get your panties all twisted up, Trite. Just relax and think through the whole thing again.
So it's impossible. Maya couldn't have thrown herself into Eagle River.
Well, Mr. Wright, Ms. Hawthorne claims Miss Fay threw herself into the river from the inner temple side. Do you have any evidence that refutes this claim?
Well, take a look at the map. The Oscord Temple map.
All right, well,
now,
let's see.
now take a look at the inner temple side.
Yep, I mean...
Do you see that huge rock slide?
I mean, yeah. I mean, there's a... Well, rock slide. What do you mean? I mean, I see like a whole bunch of rocks all over the...
But if she jumped from the inner temple side, she couldn't have hit the river, right?
She would have splattered onto the rocks below.
Exactly. Present that.
I mean, I guess. It's impossible to jump into the Eagle River from the inner temple side. No one knows that better than this witness.
What did you say?
11 years ago, you jumped into the very same river. Just take a look at this overhead map.
Every time I do it, makes me laugh.
As you can see, below the cliff on the inner temple side is a big rock shelf. Yes.
Oh, you're right.
She wouldn't have reached the river if she had jumped off from there. In other words, if she had jumped, we should be able to see her body in this photo.
So you finally figured it out.
You... No!
Order!
You're just playing with me. Maya Fay's body is at the bottom of the Eagle River. There's nowhere else she could possibly be hiding.
Ms. Hawthorne, have you ever heard this one before? Once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth.
Yes, just a few minutes ago.
Maya Fay wasn't inside the sacred cavern. We now know that she didn't throw herself into the Eagle River.
Correct. That eliminates all the most likely possibilities.
Now, although it seems improbable, there's still one other place she could be.
What? What is this one possibility you're talking about?
That's obviously a bluff. So where's her dead body then?
Finally, I think the pieces are falling into place. Normally, the living have no way to punish the dead. But I think there's a way to give Dhalia Hawthorne the ultimate punishment.
Oh, yeah.
Shall I tell you, Miss Hawthorne? Shall I tell you where Maya is this very instant? Maya Fay is in this very courtroom.
You're damn right, son.
There's only one possibility left. Namely, she's right here in this very courtroom.
What?
Maya
Fay is.
You say she's here in my courtroom?
Yep, I figured it out. Dhalia Hawthorne, I seem to recall that you said I had misunderstood one thing, you see.
So what?
But I think there's one more thing you misunderstood.
What do you mean?
Tell me something. At this very moment, who is channeling Dhalia Hawthorne?
Why, that's obvious. It's Pearl Fay, that pathetic little sniveling runt.
You're wrong. Pearl's tried, but she couldn't do it.
Aha, see?
I never failed at channeling someone. This is the first time it's happened.
Isn't there any explanation for why you couldn't channel a spirit?
It could happen if someone else was already channeling the same spirit.
Someone called me before Pearl did? But who?
Pearl's even tried again on the day after the crime, but she couldn't do it. What could that mean? I think the truth is becoming clear to you right about now. Am I correct? It wasn't Pearls that channeled you. There was someone who called you before she could. and it was Maya.
Yep.
This is an easy one. Pearls couldn't do it, and Misty Fey is gone. There's only one possibility left.
Come on already. I can't stand the tension.
Dhalia Hawthorne, the person channeling you right now must be Maya Fey.
What?
But how could that be? Remember what this witness, Dhalia Hawthorne, said about her goal.
She said that her goal was to kill Maya Fey.
Yes, that's right. But if Maya channeled the spirit of someone that was trying to kill her...
Well, Gramps, what would happen?
Could it be?
It looks like you finally understand, Your Honor.
Well, I don't. What are you going on about?
What I'm going on about is the reason Maya channeled you. And there's only one reason. To protect herself from you.
To protect herself from me?
Yes. On the night of the crime, you were only interested in one thing. Killing Maya Fey. The path back to Hazakura Temple was closed off, and there was nowhere for her to run. So then the problem became, where would be the safest place to hide?
You mean that's when she channeled me?
All this time, you thought you had been channeled by Pearls. That's why it never occurred to you that Maya's hiding place was you.
No, don't say that! You're saying that I, Dhalia Hawthorne, was played for a fool by that little whelp? Maya Fey killed herself, isn't it obvious?
Objection! Sorry, but no. It would have been impossible for her to jump into the Eagle River. This was the only avenue of escape open to Maya. The only way that Maya could disappear from the inner temple.
I don't believe you. A stupid little girl like that who has never been out in the real world. She could never have come up with a plan like that. Who could have ever given her such a brilliant idea?
Well, me, of course. Mia!
Mia Fey!
It's been a long time, Dhalia Hawthorne.
So it's true. It was you.
Yes.
You're something else.
But what are you doing here?
That hair. It's Pearls, right?
Tell me something, Dhalia. I want you to think back to that night one more time. You had just cornered Maya in the inner temple's garden, and then, in the final moments of the fight, you lost consciousness.
I was stabbed by Maya Fey!
Actually, Maya lost consciousness at the same time as you.
She did?
Not terribly surprising since she was about to be killed.
When she woke up, she was in the training hall. That's when Maya decided she needed help, so she channeled me. She explained in a memo the situation she was in. She asked me what I thought she should do.
She did that? I can't believe it.
Of course, I didn't have all the details, but one thing was perfectly clear.
And that was...
I knew that you couldn't be allowed to wander free.
Free? What do you mean?
It was a race against time, so I wrote down 2 things that Maya had to do. Channel Dhalia Hawthorne as soon as possible, and lock herself in the sacred cavern until help arrived.
So it was Maya who put that lock on there.
Yes, but why did you order her to do those 2 things?
If she hadn't done it, Dhalia Hawthorne would have been channeled by someone else. By one Pearl Fey.
But Pearls?
Yes, Pearl didn't properly understand the plan, so all she was trying to do was follow her mother, Morgan Fay's instructions. If she had succeeded in channeling Dhalia Hawthorne's spirit, things would have turned out very badly, to put it mildly.
So that's how it was. Dhalia Hawthorne would have used the body of Pearl Fay to kill Maya at all costs.
Yes, it certainly sounds like that was the intent all along.
How dare you! I won't forget this!
Why not just admit it, Dhalia Hawthorne? Your little plan was nothing but a big failure.
Yes, another failure to add to the pile of shame, wouldn't you say?
What do you mean by another?
Think about it, Dahlia. Remember all your past crimes? Not a single one of them was a success. They all ended in failure.
What? How dare you?
11 years ago, the fake kidnapping, your very first crime. You got your hands on a $2 million diamond, but after Terry Falls escaped and went to meet with Valerie Hawthorne, the truth was exposed.
Shut your mouth! That wasn't my fault! It was because of that stupid oaf of a prisoner and that weakling of a policewoman.
And then, 1 year later, you tried to kill me. Well, I'm still alive, but you wound up killing someone else.
Doug Swallow.
That bastard. That poor bastard.
Yup.
As a result, you were sentenced to death. It's one stupid move after another for you, but it's no longer funny.
You! Wipe that smug, happy-go-lucky smile off your face!
And now this. You've messed up again. You let Maya Fey escape, even though she was right there in front of you.
Oh, you done fucked up now, sister.
Mia Fey! Mia Fey!
Not yet.
You spinster! I was supposed to kill Maya Fey like I swore I would. And if only you had gotten that spiky-haired jerk the guilty verdict, I wouldn't have been hanged to death!
True. But I think you finally understand, Dhalia Hawthorne. You will never defeat me.
What? What did you say?
Whether you're alive, dead, or somewhere in between, you will never defeat me. As long as I'm around, you're destined to lose for all of eternity.
I remember what you said earlier in the trial. You said there was no way we could punish you because you were already dead.
What about it?
Then you said, even when the body dies, the spirit, the ego, it lives on forever.
That's very true, Dhalia. And that's exactly the punishment you'll never be able to escape from. For all of eternity, you'll have to remain as Dhalia Hawthorne, a miserable, pathetic, weak creature who can never win at anything. And for you, there's no escape from that, no hope of freedom. Since the day you were executed, the narrow bridge that once stretched out in front of you has burnt to a crisp.
No, you...
You're wrong! It can't be! How could I lose to the likes of you?
It no longer matters. I don't care whether you win or lose anymore. The only thing I want is for you to come out of Maya's body right now.
No, this isn't happening. Not ready to go.
What the hell just happened?
Nick, sis.
Uh-oh. Claire, get some medical attention now.
Now then, I assume you are the real Iris?
Yes, I was just rescued from the sacred cavern.
I must say, you and your twin sister are indeed identical from what I can see. In any case, it appears that everything has finally been cleared up. Mr. Godot, what happened to Dhalia Hawthorne?
If you ask me, Your Honor, it looks like she went back to the hell she came from.
Seems that Misty Fey wasn't the only victim of this crime. Maya Fey, as well as the young Pearl Fey, were also victims of this wicked and selfish plan.
Yes, Your Honor.
The tragedy of Medium Valley has finally come to an end, it seems.
Yeah, Medium Valley. No shit.
It would be best for everyone if no further attempt was made to channel that spirit again.
Your Honor?
Yes? What is it?
About this whole spirit medium thing. It's almost weird how comfortable you seem to be with the concept now.
Well, to be frank, my younger brother is quite judgmental. He often criticizes me for not studying hard enough. That's why I made a concerted effort to study up on the Curane channeling technique.
Hey, isn't that the New Year's issue of Occult?
I've seen quite a few things in my many years on the bench, and in all that time I've finally learned this one thing. Each case is different and takes place in its own world, if you will. In order to fully understand that world, first we have to immerse ourselves in it completely. And that's where my brother and I used to differ.
Never thought of it that way.
At any rate, it's time to pass judgment in the case of Iris of Hazakura Temple.
Objection! Wow, we're still not done.
Nope. You're a little too fast with that gavel, Your Honor.
What do you mean by that, Mr. Godot?
This trial, it isn't over yet. That's what he means.
What?
That's right. Remember what Miss Evil Spirit said in her testimony?
Huh? Dahlia's testimony?
I caught up with her in front of the stone lantern. Then I took out the dagger I got from the storeroom and... It's strange, but I don't have a clear memory of what happened after that. I think I was stabbed.
Just as Dhalia Hawthorne was about to attack Maya, she was stabbed and killed by someone.
Yes, that's right.
The person that was ultimately killed was the spirit medium that channeled Dhalia. At least still don't know Misty Fey, but who killed her?
Who indeed?
That was wild, yes, it sure was.
Yeah, and apparently we're not even done yet.
Nope. We still don't know who did it.
This isn't over? Yeah, we got to clear that up, don't we?
Unless someone else is found guilty, the accused is still on trial. We can't let her walk until there's evidence that proves her innocence.
No way!
But this court isn't prepared for any further testimony.
The prosecution is ready to call our final witness.
But final witness?
This one will clear up the whole mystery. The mystery of who killed Misty Fey.
Indeed.
Is it really all right, Mr. Prosecutor?
Of course it's all right, Madam Attorney.
Very well then. Who is this final witness?
Love this music, by the way.
That's great.
Isn't it obvious? There's one person who saw the whole event and will put the final dagger in this case.
Edgeworth?
No, I don't know.
Gumshoe?
Who?
Someone who saw the murder take place.
The very person who saw her mother killed in front of her own eyes.
You mean Maya? You can't! She can't testify after what she's been through!
We need to find the truth. The prosecution calls Maya Fey to the witness stand.
Very well. But first we'll take a brief recess. We'll have to wait for Ms. Fey to recover before summoning her. Once we receive the doctor's permission, we will proceed with the trial.
Hey, Wright, I've got something to say to you, so listen up.
What is it?
I don't think much of you as a lawyer. It's always the same with you. You somehow manage to just squeak by without even a feint of understanding of the case. Some beautiful woman always seems to come dashing in at the last minute to save you.
You've got some nerve.
But that's not gonna happen this time. This time, you're gonna have to do this by yourself.
That's enough. This court is now in recess.
Yeah, because we kind of have to wrap up the Godot thing and whatever this is.
Yup.
February 10th, 2:56 p.m., District Court, defendant... Look, the fact that the first half of this trial, the first half of this video, saw a spirit being forcibly removed from a host, and we're still not done? What?
And believe me, I gave everything on that scene just to make it look good.
You did, I can't wait to hear it back. I can't.
Me neither.
I'm truly sorry about everything. You were working so hard to defend me, while I was missing all day, and we didn't even have a chance to talk.
She's right. When I met Iris at the training hall yesterday, they had already switched places, and Iris was inside the sacred cavern. Thanks, brother.
It was A+ on this end. Absolutely.
Nice.
Thanks.
I can't wait to hear it again.
Thumbs up. Yep. Thanks. Appreciate it.
I wanted to at least be in the defendant's box today to root you on.
Well, wasn't your fault. You were locked up this whole time.
I mean, you guys still have to figure out who killed Misty Fate. Well, no shit.
Absolutely right. I am Melu. Absolutely right.
Welcome to the chat. First time.
Yep. And bring some friends and some popcorn, because apparently this isn't over yet. There's something more important than that, though. I have to ask you, why did you help your sister out as much as you did?
Huh?
If you had tried to get help at the Sacred Cavern yesterday, you wouldn't have spent an entire day locked up in there.
My sister. I felt sorry for her. She was abandoned by her mother and never got any love from her father either.
Yes, but it wasn't. It was the same for you too, wasn't it?
This is my favorite case in the trilogy. It's so good. No doubt. No shit.
Yes. But at least I had Sister Bikini, who was like a mother to me. If only Dhalia had come with me to Hasakura Temple.
Yeah, absolutely. It's tremendous.
I always loved her. Dhalia was always so smart, so strong. She never complained about a thing. That's why I promised her that I would help her.
Are you talking about the fake kidnapping case 11 years ago?
Iris.
Yes, I wanted to be useful to her in some way.
So pure.
Yes.
Thanks.
Yeah, well, yeah, she got taken advantage of is what happened.
But as usual, I was too cowardly. At the last minute, I ran away. Because of that. Dahlia's stepsister, Valerie, ended up...
Dead.
That was the case that wounded Mia so badly.
That would wound me too, man. Holy
God
shit.
dang.
But things didn't end there, of course. Some people suspected that my sister was involved in the murder.
Some people? You must mean...
Yes, 2 defense attorneys. Mia Fey and Diego Armando. After poisoning Mr. Armando, who was getting too close to learning the truth, Dahlia even tried to kill the person who had unknowingly hid the poison from her. For her. You.
That's right. Iris, there's one more thing that I have to ask you.
Yes? What is it?
On the night of the murder, the person that cleaned up the corpse of the victim, Elise Donham, was it really you?
Yes, it was me. That night, after I rang the lights out bell, I went back to my room. At around 10:30, I received a call on my cell phone.
There's a problem. Come to the inner temple right away.
Not sure who it was.
I got on the snowmobile and headed for the inner temple. But
Oh, God.
The path to the inner temple was cut off, right?
exactly.
We can't just leave the body here. So you've got to do this exactly as I say. Got it?
Not sure who.
Well, if that we can't do the one voice with the other.
Did you see that staff?
Oh, yeah.
It was me. I was the one that received her body. The murder weapon had been left in her body so she wouldn't bleed too much.
Oh, so someone did stab her with the staff.
The staff that Mr. Galeese always held.
I knew it. So the actual murder weapon was the staff.
Bingo.
Yes, that's right. I brought the body back to Hasakura Temple on the snowmobile.
But why? Why did you alter the body?
I didn't want anyone to know that the staff was the murder weapon. I didn't want to leave anything that would lead back to Misty Faye. So I dressed her in a robe and stabbed her with a shikishaito. I wiped the blood off the staff's blade and left it next to her on the ground.
Iris, just tell me one last thing. Tell me the name of the person that called your cell phone. The real killer.
I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. I can't do it. I can't say who did it.
I see.
Victim staff updated in the court record. Defendant,
Yes?
the judge is calling on you. He wants you to see you in his chambers. He has some questions about Dhalia Hawthorne.
All right. Well then, I'll see you later. There's something I want to tell you.
Oh, okay. Something she wants to tell me.
Okay, well, what is it? Maybe not.
So it's true. Iris cooperated with the real killer, maybe even from the very beginning.
What? Phoenix.
Mia, how is Maya doing?
Physically, I'm not worried. She'll recover completely. But emotionally, she's been hurt very badly by this case.
I see. Huh. You don't mean she's learned who Elise Donham really was?
Yes, I went to the medical office and talked with her. I told her everything I knew.
But why?
Maya is stronger than you think. I knew she could take it. All of it.
What do you mean by that?
I want you to figure that answer out by yourself. The trial is about to restart. The real killer, do you know who it is yet?
Iris wouldn't tell me who called her, but still, I think that just maybe I know who it was. That night, the victim was killed in the garden of the Inner Temple, and the criminal wasn't just there by accident, which means that the killer knew of Dhalia's plan from the very beginning.
And one more thing. The victim was moved to the Hazakura Temple side by pendulum. In other words, the criminal couldn't cross the bridge. That means they were stuck on the Inner Temple side for almost an entire day.
Godot, perhaps?
I think that's a possibility.
Yeah, you know what? Because he was there. I mean, how the heck did he get to the Inner Temple when he met us?
Exactly.
How'd he get there? But what the heck was Godot doing there anyway?
Well, we'll find out.
Okay. I don't know. Maybe he's. I don't know, dude. But that's a good idea.
That's a good theory. Let's go.
All right. Exactly. So the culprit was someone that wasn't in Hazakura Temple the following day.
That's as much help as I can give you. The rest of the battle is yours to win or lose.
Okay, I've got it. Thank you, Mia. Finally, it's almost time to bring this case to an end. What exactly did Maya see anyway? And who was it that actually killed Misty Faye? Whoever it was, I have to prove it. Me. All by myself. All by myself.
To be continued.
Oh, you know goddamn well we're continuing. We're already an hour in here.
Yeah, what are we waiting for? Let's go get this son of a bitch. And I'm talking about the killer.
Yep. Holy smokes. I can't believe it.
Buckle up, boneheads. We're going on a ride, baby. February 10th, 3:36 p.m., District Court, courtroom number 7.
Now then,
Yep, last part of the trial, IMLU, you bet your ass.
now then, before we proceed any further, I'm going to announce the results of the tests that we had performed earlier.
Tests?
Yes, tests on the bloody dagger that was found stuck in the pine tree.
Oh yeah, that. I totally forgot about it.
That's the weapon that Maya Fey used when she fought with the victim.
So what are the results? Was it the victim's blood, or...
Due to time constraints, a full test wasn't possible. However, there's one thing we can say with certainty. The blood that was on this dagger was not the victim's blood.
Whoa.
That is all. Now then, let's restart this trial.
So it wasn't Misty's blood on the dagger. It must have been Maya's.
Somebody else's, I don't know.
Well, yeah, we don't know who. Then whose was it?
Dagger updated in the court record.
I'm sure both the defense and the prosecution know this, but this trial is rapidly coming to a close. Both sides will need to show some firm evidence with their claims.
I understand, Your Honor.
From what I've heard, the witness is dangerously weak, physically speaking, so let's finish this quickly.
Agreed.
Very well. Please bring in the last witness.
Witness, please tell us your name and profession.
Maya Fey. My profession is, I'm the assistant manager at Wright & Company Law Offices.
Maya.
According to the magazine I have here, you're a spirit medium of the Kurain channeling technique.
I'm frightened. The Fey clan, I don't want any more to do with it.
Oh, Maya. The pain the Fey bloodline causes must be unbearable.
This part's so exciting. I'll bet.
It is very exciting.
Very well. Now then, Miss Fey, when the event occurred, you were in the garden of the Inner Temple, and you witnessed the moment of Miss Elise Dodom's murder. Is this correct?
I didn't see any.
Objection!
Straighten up this instant, young lady.
Huh?
Pick your head up and speak clearly. There's always time for crying later.
But I...
Your mother was killed right in front of your eyes. There's nothing you can do to change that fact. But there's something you can do. You can finish this. You've been watching the whole thing, right? You've seen the witnesses come out and you've seen us squeeze the truth out of them. Now it's your turn. Let's hear your testimony. On the night of the crime, what exactly did you see happen?
Witness, if you please.
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh boy.
Well, at the inner temple. Spill your guts, lady.
I was passing through the garden on the way to a spare prep room when it happened. Suddenly, someone struck me over the head. I stumbled and ended up against a stone lantern. I think I screamed, "Help me!" And something warm splashed over me. That's when I lost consciousness.
So you were struck on the head. I suppose it must have been this staff.
Maya, the person who hit you. It was Dhalia Hawthorne, wasn't it?
I'm sorry, Nick. I couldn't see. I don't know who it was.
Maya, think hard.
Sorry, Nick, but I really couldn't.
Can't say it was an especially good night for young ladies to be walking around alone.
It seems that it will be hard to determine the criminal through testimony alone. Very well then, Mr. Wright. Please begin your cross-examination.
Maya, hang in there. She doesn't look well at all. All right, so let's go here.
Okay.
I might press.
I was passing through the garden on the way to spare prep room when it happened.
So we'll hold it. Who else was on the inner temple side that night?
Well, Sister Bikini, of course. But I remember her saying that Iris would be coming later as well.
The day after the incident, Edgeworth met Bikini at Hasakura Temple. That means she couldn't be the criminal. So then, did Iris actually come later like she said?
Well, let me think.
She seems confused. It's probably because she's so tired.
No, I'm sure I didn't see her. She must have come while I was preparing for the training. Suddenly, someone struck me over the head.
Hold it. Who did it? Who hit you?
Well, I didn't see who it was. I was hit from behind.
You didn't see the person? But after that, your attacker was in front of you. How could you not see who it was?
Oh, let me think for a sec. I'm sorry, I just can't remember.
Maya's really having a hard time. What should I do?
Press her harder every time.
Come on, Maya, this isn't making sense. Why didn't you see this person?
Well, let me think. It was, oh yeah, that's right. It was dark, that's it.
It was dark?
It's not good to have too much light around when someone is undergoing spiritual training.
Come to think of it, there was earlier testimony to that effect as well. So it was dark in the garden on the night of the crime.
That's why she didn't see her attacker. Thought maybe she was trying to hide something, but I guess not.
Judging by the testimony thus far, the identity of the attacker was most likely
the spirit that was channeled by Elise Donham, Dhalia Hawthorne.
Press harder every time. No hesitation.
Yep, everybody. No hesitation.
Very well, please continue with your testimony. What happened after you were struck on the head?
I stumbled and ended up against a stone ledger. I figured.
Hold it. What happened afterwards?
My attacker was in front of me, blocking off my escape, I think.
You think?
After getting hit like that, I was in a state of panic. There were only two things rolling around in my mind at the time.
Well now, this is beginning to get interesting.
So what were the two things rolling around in your mind?
My name is Maya Fey. 1 + 1 = 2. You see, for some crazy reason, I was afraid I was going to lose my memory. I know it's odd considering my life was in danger, but that's how it was.
That's not odd at all. Your actions are understandable given the circumstances. So, what did you do then?
I think I I screamed, "Help me!" Press.
Hold it. You think you screamed, but you're not sure.
Listen, I was a complete wreck. It was dark and I couldn't see my attacker. Was it a man, a woman, an adult, a child? I had no idea. I was scared out of my wits.
Believe me, my dear, I'm certain I would have soiled my robes.
I thought this person might attack me, anyway, I'm pretty sure I screamed. I thought that it was my last hope.
Wow, it sounds like poor little Maya really was out of her mind. And I wonder what she meant by last hope. What do I do? Do I press her for more details?
Yes, my last hope.
Wait a minute, Maya. What's this my last hope stuff?
What? What do you mean by your last hope?
No. That's what you said. You said my last hope.
Huh? What? I said what?
Look, you were facing an attacker that you couldn't see, and you screamed, right? You screamed, "Help me."
Yeah.
But you testified that you screamed that because you thought it was your last hope.
Oh, well, that's like, what do you call it when that happens?
It's not doing so well up there.
Oh, yeah, oh, that's right. I remember now. I was facing my attacker, but that's not who I was screaming at.
What did you just say?
Yeah, that's right. It was the person behind my attacker that I was yelling at.
Uh-oh.
Wait a minute. That's who I was screaming to for help. Ah!
What is it now?
I messed up. I didn't mean to let that slip out.
Huh?
Witness, are you absolutely sure of what you're saying? Behind the attacker, there was another person.
I meant to keep that part a secret. What have I done?
It takes a ton of pressure to make a diamond. That's what I always say.
A ton of pressure?
You're in a court of law here. You can't make things up or try to hide things in this chamber.
Witness, the information you just presented is vital to the case. I want you to add it to your testimony.
I can see a man behind my attacker by the light of the stone lantern. We'll present that.
Present something?
The stone lantern.
So present the stone lantern.
Yes.
Okay. It was not lit the night of the crime. So, okay, I'm not sure why I'm presenting
That's
it.
why it was dark.
Objection! So there was a man standing behind your attacker?
Yeah.
That man. He's the killer. He stabbed her from behind.
That's right.
He's the one who killed Elise Donham.
Right.
Otherwise known as Misty Fay, your mother.
The killer.
Maya, you know who killed your mother, don't you?
But what is the meaning of this, Mr. Wright?
To be frank, Your Honor, I think she is in shock and quite confused. That's why she hasn't noticed the huge problem with her testimony.
Huh? What do you mean? What problem?
Maya, on the night of the crime, that stone lantern was out of commission.
Huh? What?
It's true. There was no light anywhere in the garden that night.
No.
Order in the court. Mr. Godot, explain this.
Add the pureness of milk to the perfect clear darkness of coffee. Stir. That is the state of the witness's mind right now. A cup of cafe au lait.
Cafe au lait? Is that even legal?
Mr. Trite's words are the milk and you are the spoon. Your Honor.
I'm a spoon? I'm no spoony bard, I'll have you know.
You must have noticed it too, Trite. This witness's mental state is highly unstable right now. It's not hard to understand why she would make a little mistake like that.
Objection! Sorry, but that's not going to cut it. What did you say? If there truly was no light in the garden, then there's a fatal contradiction in the witness's last bit of testimony.
Bless you.
May I? Recall the witness's statement about her attacker. She said that she didn't know if it was a man or a woman, an adult or a child. And yet, the witness could describe a person that was standing behind her attacker. And she quite clearly described him as a man.
Yep.
In other words, that would have to mean that Maya actually saw our mystery person, despite it being so dark she couldn't see the face of her own attacker.
No!
I don't even understand. Order! 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 What in the world does this all mean, Mr. Wright? Are you saying Ms. Fay saw the real killer under pitch black conditions?
Objection! Trite, do you have any idea what you're proposing? How could she have seen in the dark? There was no other light source at the scene.
Objection! There are some things that you can only see in the dark, Mr. Godot. Maya, you did see who the killer was in the dark, and now you're trying to cover for him. For cover? For the man that killed her mother? There's only one conclusion I can draw from this. You know who this man is.
Please, Nick. I don't know anything. Please, I'm begging you.
Could it be her dad?
No, I don't think so.
You talk a good game, Trite, but let's see if you can walk the walk. It was pitch black, so what could the witness see? I'm calling your bluff.
No, Nick, don't. Please, stop.
Maya's dead set on protecting this guy. The man who murdered Maya's long-lost mother. But I can't let him get away with it. I'm a lawyer, an officer of the court. I'm here to find the truth.
All right, Mr. Wright, time to show us what you've got. Who was this person you say Ms. Fay saw in the darkness? Well,
That guy with the mask.
Really? So, okay, I'm trying to... let's just go with it. Because that's what we thought about it. Because, hey, how was he in... Like I asked before, how was he in the inner cavern on day 2? How was he over there? Did he fly by helicopter?
Was he there the whole time?
Yeah, I don't know. Because it was pitch black, Ms. Fay was able to recognize the killer easily. I'm sure the court would like to see for itself how this is possible. Yes?
what? But how do you propose to show us something like that?
It's easy. We just need to recreate the conditions of that night.
Conditions?
Your Honor, the defense officially requests that all the lights in this courtroom be turned off. Click.
What? This is... But it can't be.
What the...
Yep. Oh boy, yep, you're right.
That was a nice bit of deduction. Trite.
Well, everyone, this is the man Maya saw on the night of the murder.
Order! 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 Prosecutor Godot, what is the meaning of this? Surely you must be shocked to hear yourself accused of such a thing. Why aren't you denying it?
Your Honor, you're asking the wrong person.
What do you mean by that?
If you've got a question, ask the witness. That's one of my rules.
Well, Maya, how about it? What you saw that night? Was it 3 glowing red lights?
Well, witness, answer the question.
You're wrong. I never saw that.
Maya!
I thought the person that stabbed my mother was a man for a totally different reason.
What? Oh my God.
Witness, Mr. Wright, what the...
Objection. Stop your chattering, Your Honor.
Chattering?
If it's worth asking, ask the witness. That's one of my rules.
All right. Well, then, let's continue with the testimony. Please tell us how you knew the killer was a man.
Yes, Your Honor. I didn't realize it until after I woke up, but
Well,
Oh boy.
spill your guts, lady.
Oh my God.
when I came to, I was just lying there on the hot training hall floor. By the time I got back to the garden, the place had totally changed. The torches were lit and the body was gone, and all the snow around the stone lantern had been carefully cleaned up, too. Since the person did all that work alone, I just assumed it was a man.
Okay.
So it was after the crime took place that the witness came to think the killer was a man.
Yes, that's right. I'm sorry, Your Honor.
No need to apologize. It is as Mr. Godot said, you're utterly exhausted. It's only natural that you would be a little confused. Also, if you consider the situation you described, it doesn't seem too much of a stretch to assume the culprit was a man. Mr. Wright, proceed with your cross-examination.
How do we bag this guy?
Well, I say you grill her like a hamburger.
All right. I am in the mood.
When I came to, I was just lying there on the training hall floor.
Hold it. So you lost consciousness when you were in the garden, is that right?
Yes, I think it happened when the victim was stabbed.
So then the person that carried you into the inner temple.
It could only have been the killer.
That's what I think, too.
So the killer carried Maya into the inner temple.
By the time I got back to the garden, the place had totally changed.
Hold it. Naturally, the killer must have done it, right?
Yes, I think so.
But why would the killer tamper with the crime scene like that? There must have been something that the killer desperately wanted to hide.
I don't know.
Andrew, I just thought of something.
What?
Remember when Godot was like, "Hey, wait a minute, I don't see that blood."
Mm-hmm.
That's what's gonna do him in. We should have suspected something from that moment. Oh my lord! It all makes sense as to why put it on him, but the fact remains, why?
Why?
Anyway, looks like she doesn't have enough confidence. I think I need to gather some more information before I ask her again.
The torches were lit and the body was gone.
Hold it. The torches were lit?
Yes, that's how I noticed that the whole scene had changed.
I'm going to say it was the killer who lit the torches. I mean, who else could it be?
The killer probably lit them since it'd be impossible to do any cover-up work in the dark. However, if that's true, there's one thing that still bothers me. Why did the killer go to the effort of moving the body?
That's true. That's true. It's hard to see how that would be of any advantage to the killer. The only one who would gain anything from that would be the only person that was at the inner temple, Maya.
Very well. Very well. Let me hear some more about the condition of the crime scene.
And all the snow around the stone lantern had been carefully cleaned up, too.
Hold it. So you're saying the killer cleaned up the snow? Did look really odd. The snow was removed in an unnatural-looking rectangular shape around the lantern.
There were a lot of shovels around the inner temple, but they're all really heavy. Way too heavy for me to use.
An odd fellow indeed, this killer. Why on earth would anyone want to take snow away?
To remove blood, of course. Well, there's one thing I can think of. Didn't you say that a lot of the victim's blood sprayed onto the snow?
Yeah, the area I collapsed in ended up being splattered.
In other words, the killer's purpose was to hide the bloody snow. I think that's the most reasonable explanation.
Perhaps. However, there's something that's bothering me. If the killer just wanted to hide the snow with blood on it, there was no need to remove that amount.
That's true. He could have scooped up just the snow that was stained with blood.
It looks like there are some mysteries behind this issue.
But I think this will help explain them. Since the person did all that work alone, I just assumed it was a man.
Press. So you're saying that you never saw the killer, right?
Yes,
But earlier you very clearly stated that you saw a man behind your attacker.
Nick, I'm sorry.
The killer certainly went through a lot of trouble, moving the body by pendulum, manipulating the crime scene. But for what purpose? Why do all that? Maybe Maya knows more than she's letting on. All right, so
Continue then.
By the time I got back to the garden, the place had totally changed.
Press again.
press again. Oh, okay.
Yeah, press
Yeah,
this.
because then we have more confidence. Hold it. Naturally, the killer must have done it, right?
Yes, I think so.
But why would the killer tamper with the crime scene like that? There must have been something that the killer desperately wanted to hide.
The truth is, when I saw the crime scene, I felt something.
You did?
Yes, I felt like the killer was hiding the evidence for me. For my sake.
What? Hiding it for you?
Everyone knew that I was the only one at the inner temple that night. If Sister Bikini had come back and looked at the garden,
She may have thought that you had done it.
No, she definitely would have thought so. And you're saying that's why the killer cleaned up the crime scene to make it look like nothing had happened?
yes, I'm sure of it.
Well, that's certainly an important piece of information. I want you to add that to your testimony.
Yes, Your Honor. I think it was for my sake that the killer cleaned up the evidence of what had happened.
We'll present the stone lantern again.
Yeah, because of the blood stains on it. He forgot something.
Yeah, he forgot the blood stain. He couldn't see it.
That's probably why he got so nervous about it.
Yeah, he couldn't see it.
Now I understand. It's starting to sound better. The body of Elise Donham was carried all the way to Hazakura Temple's courtyard. Then at the garden, the real scene of the crime, the snow that we suspect was covered in blood was scooped up and removed. It's reasonable to believe all this was done in an attempt to hide the true crime scene. However, there's still one matter that seems somewhat odd.
Oh, and what would that be?
You must have figured it out by now, Mr. Godot. It's the message written in blood on the lantern. It was written very clearly on the white stone lantern. Maya. If the killer was so motivated to protect Maya from suspicion, then why didn't they wipe the writing off the lantern?
Ah, you're right.
Because he didn't see it, that's why.
Order, order, order. But Mr. Wright, isn't it a fact that the killer was trying to cover up the crime scene?
Indeed, but it doesn't make much sense to move the body and remove the bloody snow, then not wipe off the most incriminating thing of all, the bloody writing.
Objection! But if that's the case, do you have an explanation for the killer's mysterious behavior? Why would this killer move the body and remove all the snow, but then leave the bloody writing on the lantern?
I know exactly why. I don't know what the killer's plan was, but it's a fact that the killer left the writing on the lantern. There must be a reason for it.
Well then, Mr. Wright, let's hear your opinion. Why did the killer leave the message written in blood on the lantern?
The
The
killer...
killer didn't notice it.
That's right.
Prosecutor Godot, earlier in this trial, you gave me some good advice. Once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth.
Maybe you're not as dumb as I thought.
The real killer wanted to disguise the fact that a crime had occurred there. If that's the case, they wouldn't have left the bloody writing on the stone lantern on purpose. Therefore, it must mean that they didn't notice it.
But that doesn't make any sense. The torches were all lit and everything. There's no way any normal person would miss something as glaring as that.
You're right. There is no way any normal person would.
What? What are you trying to say, Mr. Wright?
There's only one person involved in this incident who could have missed seeing the bloody writing altogether.
And who would that be? Who is the person that could have failed to notice the bloody writing?
Again. Mr. Godot, this is what you said yesterday.
My eyesight's pretty messed up. Even with these huge goggles on my head, I still can't see everything.
Yep.
You can't see everything. Is that correct, Mr. Godot?
This lantern was submitted as evidence today. I would like the court to think back to the moment it was first presented.
This lantern? There's something written on it. But why it's written in blood?
Nonsense. This lantern, it's as clean as a whistle.
Aha. Mr. Godot, just admit it. There are certain colors you can't see, correct? You can't see red on a white background, can you? That's right. We went through this once before, during the poisoning case at Tribulations.
This is the apron that delightful Miss Bird was wearing at the time, and somehow spilled coffee on.
There's something still bothering me, Mr. Godot. Why have you not explained the bloodstain to the court?
Bloodstain? What bloodstain would that be?
Don't play games, prosecutor. The blood-colored stain that's smeared all over the apron.
Oh my God, why didn't I think of that?
That's ridiculous. No one told me anything about a blood stain.
He's colorblind. You could see the coffee on the white apron, but you couldn't see the ketchup because it was red.
It's strange. In a black and white photo, those letters would have appeared black to me. I wonder, why am I the only one that can't see them?
So then, Mr. Godot, are you admitting it? Are you admitting that you can't see the red writing on the lantern?
Hey, Gramps, didn't you know? That's the reason why I don't drink red tea.
I wasn't sure about it up until now, but I just can't believe it. Prosecutor Godot is the murderer. But there's no going back now. I finally figured out the truth. Mr. Godot, the defense at this time formally accuses you. You are the murderer of Ms. Elise Donan, also known as Ms. Misty Fay.
It's hard to believe this may be true. However, once again, Mr. Wright has brought up a disquieting fact about you.
Just make sure you don't fill out the indictment in red ink, Gramps. Come on. How does a little graffiti make B into the killer? Huh? Besides, it's not like it's my name that's written on there.
Objection! I'm certain that the killer wasn't able to see the color red.
This is rich. Do go on, Wright.
The answer is right there at the crime scene. In the snow.
Snow? How so?
Well, for example, why did the killer move all that snow? Your Honor, you said it yourself. If you wanted to hide the bloody snow, why not take out just that area?
Yes, why didn't he take just that area? Could it be?
Yes, the killer couldn't see the red blood that had seeped into the snow, and so he had to remove all of the snow. He couldn't be sure of where the blood had landed, so he removed the whole area.
Objection! Isn't it more likely that the killer couldn't see the blood because it was dark?
Not a chance. The torches were all lit. He could have been able to see just fine.
Would.
It seems that once again this trial has taken an unexpected turn, to say the least. Can you explain this, Mr. Godot?
Hold it.
Hold it! Wait just a minute.
Maya,
What is it, witness?
Mr. Godot, isn't the killer... Mr. Godot isn't the killer. After all, he didn't even come to the Inner Temple until 2 days after the murder took place. He didn't show up until after that old bridge got fixed up.
yeah, there you go. That's a way to explain it away.
Objection!
Maya. You can't testify to something like that.
Why? What do you mean? I mean, I look like it. Ah!
After the murder happened, you didn't even exist.
She didn't? I'm afraid I don't follow.
Are you senile, old man? We established this just a little while ago. After the murder, this witness was unconscious for a long time. Because she was channeling Dhalia Hawthorne.
Oh, that's right.
Please, Your Honor, let me add to my testimony. Nick, please listen to me.
Maya, do you plan to cover for Godot no matter what the cost? If that's the case, then I've got no choice. Your Honor, let's hear her testimony. If it means we're going to hear the whole truth, I say we should not silence her.
Nicely done, Trite.
Very well, let's hear the witness's testimony. Please tell us what happened at the inner temple after the murder.
We did notice for 35 minutes, but Nate has liked our stream. Thanks, Nate, for liking the stream.
Sorry about that.
Yes, sir. After I woke up, I began channeling and my spirit left me, as it were. But little Pearlie was there at the inner temple, too.
Oh. After the incident. Spill it out, lady.
Pearlie was also struck in the inner temple side that night.
Stuck, not struck, but
Stuck.
anyway.
The next morning, she looked around but couldn't find anyone. The next day, when the bridge was finally fixed, she was in the spare prep room. That's when Mr. Godot arrived at the inner temple for the first time. He found Pearlie first and cheered her right up.
Who is this Pearlie?
That's my little cousin, Pearl Fay.
So when did you hear about this?
Oh, just a while ago, when I was in the medical office.
Terribly sorry, but what you heard from someone else is simply not admissible as testimony.
What? Come on! Pearlie would never tell a lie. She's way more honest person than I'll ever be.
Real smart, Maya. You always know the best things to say when you're under oath.
The prosecution has no objection. We believe the witness.
Mr. Godot,
Let's just move on to the cross-examination. If the defense has no objections.
this is highly unusual, but... Well, Mr. Wright?
Let's get this cross-examination started. Why is Maya covering up for Godot?
I don't know.
Probably because he saved her life.
Probably.
Pearlie was also stuck in the inner temple side the night.
Continue.
All right.
The next morning, she looked around but couldn't find anyone.
Continue.
Next day, when the bridge was finally fixed, she was in the spare prep room.
Continue.
That was when Mr. Godot arrived at the inner temple for the first time.
Continue.
He found Pearlie first, and then cheered her right up.
Press.
Yeah, of course. How? He cheered her up.
That's what Pearlie said. She said he was a very nicer, older gentleman. Thank you for looking after my cousin, Mr. Godot.
and here I was thinking you were nothing more than a coffee addict.
Cut it out. You're making me blush.
This guy is really beginning to get on my nerves in more ways than one.
The truth is, there aren't many places to look on the inner temple side. The policemen were all busy going over the garden with fine-toothed combs, so I decided to carry out an investigation in my own way, Godot style.
I'm the same way. I like to hand down verdicts in my own way, judge style.
Maybe I should ask some questions, Phoenix style.
Godot's investigation.
You said that you conducted an investigation of your own. Did you find anything?
It looks like my investigation went about as well as yours, Trite. After all, I did miss the bloody writing on the lantern.
Well, I didn't miss it, so speak for yourself, Goggles.
The only odd thing I discovered was the beauty in the training hall.
Beauty?
Misty Fey, naturally. Clad in her stunning Japanese garb, surrounded by the hue and aroma of Western tastes.
Wait a minute, Misty Fey, she was alive? Western tastes? Could he find a stranger way to describe gravy?
It's just, what about the scroll? Remember that?
So from there, you headed for the prep room.
Wait a sec. What did Godot say just now? I think I just found his proverbial weak spot. There's only one thing of any importance here. Where was Godot when the murder was taking place? He must have already been at the inner temple when it happened. Otherwise, he couldn't have killed Elise Stoneham.
That's right. Continue.
Next day, when the bridge was finally fixed, she was in the spare prep room. That's when Mr. Godot arrived at the inner temple for the first
Now
time.
hit her with the scroll.
Yeah, the scroll with the gravy on it. Now, Pearl's told us that she threw gravy on the.
Yeah, because she couldn't understand it. She couldn't.
Objection, Mr. Godot, the first time you crossed Dusky Bridge and went into the Inner Temple was long before the murder took place.
Well, why do you say that?
Because he just made one fatal slip-up. The hanging scroll in the training hall.
Hanging scroll?
But Mr. Godot is right. That scroll shows a picture of my mother.
Maya, I know you know who it is, but here's something you didn't know. By the time the bridge had been repaired, 2 days after the murder, the hanging scroll in the training hall looked like this.
What's that wonderfully delicious smell?
The morning after the crime, someone covered it with gravy.
Gravy? Why gravy, Nick?
Because gravy was much more than a condiment to the culprit. Well, Mr. Godot, if you really hadn't seen the hanging scroll until after the murder, you wouldn't have any idea, you wouldn't have had any way of knowing that it was Misty Fey. Hold it.
Hold it! Wait a minute, Nick.
Yes?
Take another look at the hanging scroll. Look, at the top. There's a crest there.
Ah, that. It's the mark of the master, correct?
Exactly. So if you know the meaning of the mark,
And you could guess that it was a picture of Misty Fey on there.
True, but Mr. Godot described what was underneath like this, clad in her stunning Japanese garb, surrounded by the hue and aroma of Western tastes.
oh,
Yes, it's possible that he knew what the crest meant. However, he couldn't have known that she was wearing Japanese clothing. Mr. Godot, on the day of the murder, you were hiding at the Inner Temple long before the crime took place.
Can I ask you just one little thing, Trite?
What is it?
This whole theory of yours, it all rests on a certain assumption that I knew beforehand that a crime was going to be committed.
that's right. Otherwise, there's no reason for him to sneak onto the crime scene.
Of course Mr. Godot knew about the plan.
Huh?
What did you say? Is it really possible that another person knew of that plan?
The burnt letter.
Oh. Orders from Morgan Fay. Gravely roast the master in the fires of Hades and bring our vengeance for fruition. This crime was actually planned over a year ago. Morgan Fay authored the plan for her daughter's future, and these instructions were hidden somewhere in Fay Manor for a year. However, by the time Little Pearls found these instructions, they had already been unsealed. Aha!
Unsealed?
Yes, the killer had read these instructions long before Pearls ever found them. That's how he knew the crime was to take place at the Inner Temple.
And you still insist this crafty killer is me?
You bet I do.
But you just said that the instructions were hidden.
That's right. Mr. Godot couldn't have known where the instructions were hidden.
If he really wanted to know, he had one great chance to find out.
Yes, and when was that?
During a visit.
A visit?
Morgan Fay told her daughter Pearl about where the instructions were hidden. During one of her visits to the detention center. That would be the only time for someone to have learned where they were hidden.
Eavesdropping on a visit at the detention center.
Yes, it could be arranged if you were someone with easy access in and out of there. Like, for example, a prosecutor such as Mr. Godot.
Order! 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 Mr. Godot, you're under fire again.
This murder could not have been carried out without prior knowledge. And you were the only one that could have acquired this information before the murder.
Humans are afraid of the dark, and yet, at the same time, we're fascinated and bewitched by it. Maybe that's why humans drink the darkness that is coffee.
So I've always asked him, what does that mean?
It means there's a reason for everything. According to your theory, the killer in this case eavesdropped on a conversation during a jail visit where he learned of a hidden plan for a crime. After discovering the plans, he hid in the inner temple and waited for the crime to occur. Then he ultimately took a person's life. And he did all of that just to protect this witness?
Yeah, I don't know what the heck. Yeah, that's right.
If you're accusing me of this crime, I have to ask you, why would I do this?
Yeah, I'm wondering that myself.
This girl is nothing but a stranger to me.
No, she's not.
I got no reason to go through that kind of trouble to protect her.
Well, she is Mia's sister.
Yeah, he just said that, didn't he? Remember when you were in the inner temple and you had that conversation?
Yep, and the big thing about, this whole thing. You sent her to her death.
I got no reason to go through that kind of trouble to protect her. I am what you see. I am certainly not the type to rescue the damsel in distress.
The killer's behavior is certainly extreme, for a lack of better word. Even considering that the killer wanted to protect this witness's life, his behavior is still a little too unnatural.
Objection! However, you had a good reason, didn't you, Mr. Godot? An unshakable reason forced you to protect this witness at all costs.
I knew it. You figured it out, haven't you, Nick?
Maya, I guess you were doing your best to cover for Godot. For the same reason, huh?
Okay, Wright. I'm all ears. Let's hear it.
It's very simple. Maya Fey is a lot more than just a stranger to you. What's this? There's one person who lies at the very center of this whole story. One person that ties you and Maya Fey together inextricably. Ding, ding, ding. Let's go!
Take that!
There's a very good reason why Maya Fey's life is so precious to you. After all, she is Mia Fey's only sister.
Mia Fey?
You once worked alongside her. That was when you were a defense attorney.
Wait a second here. Mr. Godot is a defense attorney?
With your honor's piercing intellect, you must have figured it out by now. The real name of this man who calls himself Godot, his real name is Diego Armando. Isn't that right? You can start glugging coffee. Not really.
Last time someone called me by that name was over 6 years ago.
Diego Armando. That name rings a bell.
It should, Your Honor. All this is related to a single case. A case in which a convict named Terry Falls killed himself. Mia Fey's first time in court. The tragic outcome left a deep wound in her heart. She knew that behind it all was a heartless, scheming demoness in disguise. But in the end, Mia couldn't tear off that disguise. However, there was one man who reached out to help her. Diego Armando, a senior defense attorney at the office where Mia worked.
It's my fault. It's all my fault that Mr. Falls killed himself.
Mia, you can't cry yet. Remember this. The only time a lawyer can cry is when it's all over. I was moved by her. The way she put all her faith in her clients. That pure, sweet heart of hers. That's why I could never forgive Dhalia Hawthorne. Mia and I thoroughly investigated that fake kidnapping incident. Then one fateful day, Dhalia wanted to meet with me. It had been 6 months since the trial. We met in the courthouse cafeteria.
I just remembered. 6 years ago, right here in this courthouse, you were poisoned.
Even I didn't see it coming.
He saw death.
Dhalia Hawthorne slipped some poison into my coffee.
Some newspaper at the time called it a murder, but very little information about the case was released to the press.
You weren't dead at all.
No official reports ever actually called it a murder. I was just in a deep, deep coma.
See.
My body shut down and my life became nothing but a long, deep sleep. That moment's poison did a real number on my central nervous system. I lost my sight, and all my hair turned white due to the damage it caused.
That's terrible.
Apparently it was a miracle that I ever regained consciousness. 5 years had passed since I drank that poison brew. And one morning, my eyes flew open from the smell of a doctor's cup of coffee.
For 5 years? You were asleep for 5 years?
And the worst possible news was waiting for me. Mia Fey was dead. From the very moment I opened my eyes, I had already lost everything I thought I had. The woman I loved had been murdered, and the woman I loathed had been sentenced to death.
The woman you loathed?
The woman who had spiked my scalding hot coffee, Dhalia Hawthorne. Good old Mia. She didn't let me down. She got her revenge before she checked out. In the end, there wasn't anyone waiting for me when I woke up.
That's so sad.
For someone like me, for someone who had slept away their best days, there were only 2 reasons left to live. And it was for those 2 reasons that I decided to become a prosecutor.
If I may ask, what were your 2 reasons to live?
The first was you, Wright.
Huh? Me?
If I had drank that stupid poison, Mia Fey never would have died, much less the way she did.
Huh?
You were the only one who was there to protect her, but you let her die. It was all your fault.
It wasn't like that.
I wanted to see for myself what kind of a man you really were.
So that's why you became a prosecutor?
My other reason for living, she goes by the name of Maya Fey.
Huh? You mean me?
You were the only way I could make up for the sin of not saving Mia. 1 year ago, when the Crime Village incident was resolved, it was obvious that Morgan Fey was planning something. Whatever her evil plan was, I was determined to stop it. My role as a prosecutor put me in the perfect position to do something about her.
That's how you overheard Pearl's visit with Morgan at the detention center.
I knew that the time was drawing near. Since I knew the plan, I thought I could foil it. My goal was to outwit the plan. I thought if I could do that, I could keep that girl from being caught up in it.
That makes sense. If Pearls had known that the actual purpose of the plan was to kill Maya, she never would have helped out.
Finally, the day of the plan was drawing near. I contacted both of my accomplices.
Accomplices?
Iris of Prosecutor Temple and Misty Fey. I especially needed the help of Iris. She was to take the fall on my backup plan in case we couldn't control Pearl Fey.
But how did you contact my mother? She had been missing for almost 20 years.
Officially, yes.
What? What do you mean officially?
You've heard about it, haven't you? About the strong ties between the main family and the government.
Now that you mention it, Bikini did say something to that effect. She said that the Master of Terrain had great authority.
Even without her official position, Misty Fey still wielded great influence. The police have been keeping an eye on her movements all this time. That's how I was able to contact her. Again, because of my position as a prosecutor.
So my mother was cooperating with you?
Don't ever forget, no matter how far away from you she was, she'd never stop thinking about you.
She was always...
That's why I knew she would do anything to protect you. If you want to know how strong her resolve to protect you was, look at her staff.
Her staff? The one with the sword in it?
The day the plan was to be carried out arrived soon enough. We met for the first time at Asakura Temple. That's when your mother showed me your special staff. I realized then just how far she was willing to go. She was ready to use that sword to protect you from Morgan Fay if necessary. Yes, even if it meant paying the ultimate price.
Mother.
That night, the night of the crime, there was just one way to stop Morgan's evil plan.
You mean pearls, don't you?
We had to make sure she didn't channel Dhalia Hawthorne.
Well, Pearl, what are you going to do tonight?
Well,
If you'd like, you can come to my room. Perhaps we can read some books together.
We thought we could prevent her from playing her part in Morgan's plan, but she never showed up.
she was worried and followed me to the inner temple.
That was the thing we were most afraid of, and that's why Missy Fay had to do the channeling herself. She channeled Dhalia Hawthorne into her own body.
What? What do you mean? If she channeled the spirit first, then Pearls wouldn't be able to do it herself.
As Master of Karain, Misty Fay's power was supreme, so that's how it went down. She channeled Dhalia Hawthorne so that Pearl Fay wouldn't be able to.
What? Is this true?
My role in the plan was to make sure no one was going to hurt Maya Fay. That's why I hid myself at the inner temple, just in case she needed to be saved from Dhalia Hawthorne. Godot. Anyway, that's all I'm going to admit to, Trite.
Huh?
There's no doubt about it. You're a great defense attorney, but you're going to have to do the rest yourself.
The background leading up to this incident has been laid bare. There's just one question remaining, Mr. Wright. Who killed the victim? There are only two possible suspects right now. Maya Fay, and I'm sad to say, you, Mr. Godot.
Well, Trite, if you're the real deal, then finish this thing once and for all. Show us beyond a shadow of a doubt that you can finish this on your own.
No, Nick, please don't.
Maya.
I heard the whole thing from my sister in the medical office. That's why I have to protect Mr. Godot. I can't do it. I can't testify against him. After all, he's the man who put his life on the line to protect me, and me too.
Maya, I know that.
Nick,
But even so, it doesn't absolve him of his crime. Please, Maya, testify.
Miss Fay, your testimony, please.
This is the final testimony. Don't bother trying to hide anything, because I'll know. I want to hear the truth from your own lips.
I understand. I'm sure you're right. I'm ready now, Nick.
All right, young lady. Tell us about the moments before you lost consciousness. What exactly happened at the time of the murder?
Oh boy.
No bluffing. I almost shed a tear or two. Seriously.
Just before it happened, I think I saw some red lights. 3 of them. I thought I'd ask for help, but just then I was splattered with blood. She wasn't dead, though, and she struck back at the enemy behind her. Suddenly, the red lights went out and the whole area was dark. Just at that moment, there was a horrible scream. Right after that, Dhalia collapsed and I lost consciousness.
So that means Misty Fay may not be actually dead.
These red lights. I thought you said you don't remember seeing them.
I'm sorry. I thought I saw them, but then they disappeared all of a sudden.
Things break, Trite. Even the best of theories.
Who was it that stabbed Misty Fey? It looks like you still can't prove it.
Maya's telling the truth this time. I know it. The rest is up to me.
Well then, Mr. Wright, proceed with your final cross-examination of the witness.
All right. Let me see if I can piece this together. We're actually over time, so...
Just before it happened, I think I saw some red lights. 3 of them. Press.
Hold it. Lights shining in the dark? I don't think you can make a mistake about that.
Yeah, you're right. I think I saw them, but I can't say for certain. And I can't tell you for sure they were from Mr. Goodell's mask either.
I don't get the feeling she's covering for him anymore, but...
Press harder.
Press harder.
You're almost done.
But just after that, you turned towards the lights and called for help. Isn't that because you thought the lights were coming from Mr. Godot's mask?
Yeah, I guess so. Maybe that's what I was thinking at the time, but I can't remember. After all, there was a person I couldn't identify in front of me.
Maya's life was in terrible danger at the time. Now hang on a second. Was the bridge on fire, perhaps?
I think, the lightning struck, didn't it?
Yeah, anyway. There's no way she can remember the details of the scene perfectly.
All right then, let's go on with the testimony. What did you do when you saw the red lights?
I thought I'd ask for help, but just then I was spattered with blood. Continue. She wasn't dead, though, and she struck back at the enemy behind her. Continue. Suddenly, the red lights went out and the whole area was dark. Continue. Just at that moment, there was a horrible scream.
What horrible scream?
That's it. Hold it. What do you mean by just at that moment? Do you mean the moment when the red lights went out?
Yes, that's right.
The scream that you heard then, was it Dhalia Hawthorne?
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it was a man's voice.
What?
So then, that scream came from the killer?
That's got to be it.
I think Dhalia Hawthorne must have taken the blade and attacked the killer with it.
And then the killer let out a scream of pain, huh?
After that, the killer stole the blade back and delivered the final blow, I guess.
Well, Mr. Wright, it seems to make sense to me.
Sounds like a reasonable deduction, but I still kind of wonder.
There's a contradiction.
Sorry to say this, but that interpretation would create an enormous contradiction.
That makes sense. After all, my deductions are almost certainly never correct.
Remember the testimony she just gave. Before the killer let out a scream, Maya said she had already been splattered by the victim's blood. In other words, the blade and the staff had already been plunged into the victim.
Is that right?
She couldn't have struck back with a sword that was already stuck in her body. The weapon that caused the killer to let out a scream must have been something other than the staff, the dagger.
Yes. If you're so sure about that, then don't keep us waiting any longer, Trite.
There's only one thing I can think of that could have been used as the weapon here.
If Dhalia Hawthorne had already been stabbed in the back by the staff, what could she have used to strike back at the killer, the dagger?
Naturally, the dagger the killer brought to the scene of the crime.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
This dagger was found at the crime scene, stuck into a pine tree.
Yes?
Yes, the detective found that this morning and brought it to me.
Dhalia Hawthorne struck back at the killer with this, and she managed to wound him as well.
Objection! Just because he let out a scream doesn't mean that he was wounded. For all we know, the blood on the dagger could have been for the victim.
Objection! Have you forgotten that the blood has already been tested? Since we learned it wasn't the victim's blood, it must be the killer's blood. The killer must have a wound somewhere on his body. That's why he's wearing the goggles, I bet.
Well, so you're saying the blood on this dagger belongs to the killer?
Exactly. A DNA analysis of the blood would prove it beyond a shadow of a doubt. And yes, Mr. Godot, it would prove that it's your blood.
Nice theory, Trite.
Order. Order in the court.
Is this the end? Have I done it? Even he won't be able to change the results of a scientific test.
Let me ask you something, Trite. Let's just say that it turned out that I was the killer.
Huh.
Do you really think I would be stupid enough to leave evidence like that?
What?
Just think for a second. This dagger was found this morning by a detective and brought it to me. There was already blood on it, correct? But even so, I was the one who brought this dagger here to the courtroom.
Yes, what does that prove?
Well, if I really were the killer, I could have washed the blade off and implanted another person's blood on it.
It can't be.
In any case, there's one thing I can guarantee, Trite. That blood, it doesn't belong to me. Not a chance.
What?
In any event, it seems to be established that the killer was wounded. All right then, witness, continue your testimony. Hold it!
Hold it, wait a minute.
What's the problem?
I know I probably shouldn't say this, but there's a big contradiction in Nick's explanation.
Maya!
This dagger, you said they wounded the killer.
Oh, it wounded Maya. That's right.
But, if Mr. Godot had really been cut with a dagger, his clothes should be bloody or have a rip in them, right?
Maya, maybe he just changed his clothes. That'd solve the contradiction pretty easily.
What are you talking about? It's not that simple at all. Remember back to the day of the murder. Everyone that was on the Inner Temple side got trapped there.
Ah, that's right. And once the bridge was fixed and the police headed for the Inner Temple, Mr. Godot was...
Mr. Godot was already there waiting for them. He never had a chance to change his clothes.
Order in the court. What the witnesses say is true. Objection.
Well, maybe he brought a change of clothes with him.
But no one could have predicted the lightning strike that shut down the bridge. Why would anyone have brought a change of clothes?
The judge takes smart pills during the last recess. Well then, maybe the killer took off his clothes before he committed the murder. That way he wouldn't get any blood on them.
Objection! That's impossible, Trite. You know how cold it gets up there late at night. After a few minutes with no clothes on, you'd be frozen solid. So that's all you've got. I knew you weren't tough enough to finish this. Right now, if Mia Fey were here... If Mia Fey were here, she would have closed the book on this case already.
If Mia Fey were here.
So come on, Trite. Can you do it or not?
How about it, Mr. Wright? You've accused Mr. Godot of being the killer, but can you prove it? Have you got even one piece of evidence?
Yes, you can.
The question isn't whether I can prove it or not. The fact is, I have to prove it. That's the only choice I have. I was taught that it's one of the rules of being a lawyer.
Here we go.
I can prove it. I'm going to bring your magnificent vengeance to fruition just as you want it.
Listen to that music. Ha! That's good. A fighter to the bitter end, Trite. Since there's just one piece of evidence that can prove your point, why don't we go for the unlimited penalty?
Are you trying to pressure me, Mr. Godot? Because it doesn't matter to me. I've got the one piece of evidence I need.
Give me a break. You got nothing, Trite.
So what do I do at a time like this? It's simple. I've got to think outside of the box and approach this from a different angle.
All right then, Mr. Wright, let's hear what you've got.
There's one thing I've demonstrated in the previous cross-examination. The killer was wounded. That was proven by the blood on the dagger.
But we decided it was impossible for him to have hidden such a wound. If he had been cut by a dagger, there should have been a blood stain on his clothing.
There's one place the killer could have hidden his wound.
But what did you say?
Hidden?
This is it. My last stand. I need to think about this from a different angle. I don't need to think about why there were no bloodstains on his clothing. I need to show how he hid the wound.
It's the end of the line. The final stop, Trite. Let's hear what you've got. Where's this location where you say the killer hid his wound?
So...
Profiles.
Okay.
His mask.
Yep. Yeah, he's got it in his face.
I don't know what you're talking about. And frankly, I don't need to know. What I do know is that you'll never be half the lawyer she was! Isn't that right, Trite?
What was that just now? Mia? It can't be. You're living on through him?
Even as we speak, you're still hiding the wound.
All together now.
It's beneath your mask.
It's beneath your mask. Oh, crap, I missed it.
Yep.
During the fight, the red lights given off by the killer suddenly disappeared. Seconds later, the killer let out a scream. That's right, your mask went flying off your face. Mr. Godot, would you mind removing your mask? If you have a dagger wound under there somewhere, then I'd say this whole case is solved. So I'm just gonna drink a coffee after that.
Just now, I saw her spirit in you.
Huh?
I never liked you. 6 years ago, you helped the woman who put me to sleep by hiding her bottle of poison. And then, while I was sleeping, you let Mia die. But you didn't care. You just kept living your pathetic, happy-go-lucky life. You even had the nerve to follow in her footsteps as a lawyer. I could never forgive you. That's what I thought.
Mr. Godot.
But I was wrong about you. I knew it from the very beginning. The truth is, the only person I could never find it in my heart to forgive was me.
You yourself?
I was the one that failed to protect Maya. Me and no one else. I tried to avert my eyes from the truth, to escape from the harshness of reality. I just couldn't face Mia's death head on, so I ran. I hid behind a mask. I threw away my true name. I couldn't even deal with being a defense attorney anymore, so I quit.
But you saved Maya!
The guy on the left, did you reading it? Yes, I admit it.
Have you been... Cat's out of the bag.
Yeah, that was my plan.
Although it makes sense when you sit back and think back over it.
Up till just now, anyway.
Kind of helps with the timing of things.
What do you mean?
Bad.
Just kidding.
Are you listening, Maya? If I had really wanted to save you, then there's one person I should have gone and talked to right away.
Who would that be? Are you talking about Nick?
But I didn't do it. I tried to get the help of Iris and your mother, but I closed my eyes to the most important man involved. Do you know why? The real reason?
No, why?
I suppose I wasn't really interested in saving you at all.
Huh?
I think I was just trying to salvage what's left of my own broken soul. I was trying to make up for the fact that I couldn't save Mia, nothing more. That's why I let you walk right into a situation that I knew was dangerous. Forgive me.
You're wrong. You put your life on the line to save Maya.
Was it really for Maya's sake? Even I'm not really sure.
What do you mean by that?
That night, in the darkness of the garden, when I saw her silhouette, a part of me must have known the truth. The truth that it wasn't really Dhalia Hawthorne standing there in front of me. It could have been Misty Faye, or even that little girl. But I still picked up the blade. It was like I was dreaming. I'm not sure exactly what was going on in my mind at that point. Was I really motivated by the pure desire to protect Maya Faye? Or was it something else? Was it my hatred for a woman who had stolen everything from me 6 years earlier? Could it have been simply a desire for revenge? And now, I don't know anything anymore. I did learn something today, however. I finally realized that I was the arrogant one. I was just chasing an illusion, a fantasy. The stupid fantasy of defeating you in the courtroom. You were the one who made me realize my folly. You never ran away from Mia's death. Instead, you picked up where she left off as a true defender of the people. In that one moment, I understood everything.
Mr. Godot.
I think you already know this, but if you don't, my name is Diego Armando.
Mr. Armando, I believe in you. I knew you were trying to save me.
Thanks.
Your wound. It's bleeding.
Did you forget already? In my world, the color red doesn't exist.
Huh.
These must be my tears.
Tears?
Ever since I woke up from my coma, I think I've been waiting for this very moment.
Mr. Armando.
You do well to remember this, Maya. The only time a lawyer can cry is when it's all over.
Well, it is indeed all over. Holy smokes.
Oh, I don't know.
Whew, wait a minute. Don't tell me there's more.
This time it really is all over, isn't it? Defendant.
Yes, Your Honor.
Although you weren't directly involved in the murder, tampering with the body in the crime scene is a serious offense in itself.
I understand, Your Honor. Mr. Armando explained that to me very carefully. I knew the risk and I willingly cooperated anyway.
Very well. Before I hand down my verdict, is there anything you'd like to say?
There is one thing. I'd like to say something to Mr. Wright. I want to apologize to you.
Apologize? To me? For what?
For the case 5 years ago, of course.
I just remembered. Weren't you poisoned by your own lover?
Not exactly, but yeah, something like that. Even now, 5 years later, I can hardly believe it. She was gonna do it. She was planning to kill me.
It's not all that surprising. The two of you hardly knew each other.
Huh? What do you mean?
You and my sister, you only met twice.
What? Huh? We only met twice?
Oh, boy.
The first time you met was on that fateful day. The day she poisoned Mr. Armando in the cafeteria of this very courthouse. Next time you met her was 8 months later.
What?
You met her again on the day that she stole your cold medicine. And Doug Swallow was killed.
No way. It can't be true. I mean, during our whole relationship, we were...
For those 8 months, the woman that you thought was Dhalia Hawthorne wasn't actually my sister.
Huh? It wasn't Dahlia?
I hope one day you can forgive me. Really?
But you mean...
That's right. I lied to you for 8 months.
What? But why? Why would you do such a thing?
Ever since she gave you the bottle that day, my sister was trying to get it back as soon as she possibly could. Because of the police investigation and their surveillance. She couldn't move about freely.
So that's why you...
My sister, from the beginning, she was prepared for the worst.
Prepared for the worst?
She thought that she might somehow discover the truth. That's why she was always ready to deal with you at a moment's notice.
You mean she was ready to kill me, don't you?
She already had so much to answer for. I didn't want any more sins on her soul. I begged her not to do it, and she agreed to give me a chance.
And that's why you came to me. You came to get the bottle pendant back from me in her place.
But I couldn't get you to give it back. But I couldn't get you to give it back. I failed at something even as simple as that. 8 months passed and I still couldn't get it back from you. Finally, my sister couldn't wait any longer.
Zap.
She didn't consult me about her plans for you that day. It was the first time that ever happened.
That was a bit strange, wasn't it? Up until that day, you two were partners in crime and she would confer with you.
I think she must have noticed.
Huh? Noticed what?
My feelings for you. If I had found out she was planning to kill you, I would have done whatever was necessary to stop her. Even if it meant her life. Or mine.
Iris!
After spending those 8 months by your side, my feelings toward you, they changed.
I have something to say to you, too.
Yes?
You really are the person I always thought you were. Even after Dhalia Hawthorne was found guilty, I still believed in you.
Thank you.
What the fuck? Wow.
How many cups of darkness have I drank over the years? Even I don't know. I'll tell you though. Right now, this one here is the greatest cup I think I've ever had. Don't you think so, Phoenix Wright?
And now he's drinking coffee.
Yeah, I think you're right.
The purpose of this trial was to rule on the murder of the victim, Elise Donim. At some point, I expect you will be tried for your role as an accomplice in this case.
I understand, Your Honor.
Very well. On the charge of murder, I hereby find the defendant, say it with us, everybody, not guilty! Yay! Court is now adjourned.
It's
Holy smokes.
It's all over now. You can cry now.
Not guilty.
Yay!
February 10th, 4:51 p.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 1.
So I guess it's all over. The way everything ended, was justice really served? The man who risked his life to save Maya is being sent to prison by my own hand.
Of course justice was served.
Mia!
I'm proud of you, Phoenix. Your defense was truly brilliant.
But I couldn't save Mr. Armando. The man who cared so deeply for you.
You're wrong, Phoenix. You did save Diego. You saved him in the only way possible.
You mean with that verdict?
I think one day you'll understand too. Phoenix, I want you to remember one thing. You were as good out there today as any defense attorney could ever hope to be. There's nothing more you can learn from me.
Mia,
You've accomplished something I wasn't able to. I owe you a great deal. Thank you.
Mia,
I'm sure we'll meet again someday, Phoenix.
I've handled lots of cases and seen a lot of things. Along this journey, I found myself asking just one question. What does it really mean to defend someone?
And Triforce says not guilty.
Yeah. I suppose today's case produced one possible answer.
Nick,
Maya,
I guess it's just like my sis said.
Mia, what did she say?
That night when I channeled Mia to get her advice on what to do, this is what she wrote back in my notebook. Don't worry, Phoenix will save everyone in the end.
But,
Come on, cut it out with that gloomy face. Can't you see? Me, sis, and I'm sure Iris too. We owe you for everything you have done for us, Nick.
Maya, how? How can you be so bright and chipper after all that's happened? You were brutally attacked. We even saw your mother murdered. Ouch! Francisca!
Still as softy as always, Phoenix, right?
Excellent work, Wright.
Huh? Mr. Edgeworth, when did you get back?
Oh, that's right. I guess no one filled her in on that. Edgeworth and Francisca have actually been helping me.
Helping you?
If these two hadn't been here on the first day of the trial, the defense wouldn't have gotten anywhere.
Wow. But where were you, Nick? I heard he fell into a river and caught a nasty cold, which forced him to sleep all day.
Yes, he laid in bed shivering from his fever with Iris's hood pulled over his head.
Oh, ouch. Talk about embarrassing, Nick. You definitely need more training. Anyway, thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. And you too, Francisca.
I don't suppose.
I don't suppose there's room for me in this group hug, is there?
Oh, Larry.
What's with the longer than usual face?
I realized something when I was reborn. I realized that Larry was never of any use to anyone, not even once.
That's not true, right, Nick?
What? You're asking me?
Well, Nick, is it true? I've got a place in this world, right?
Huh? Oh, yeah, of course.
I knew it. Everyone would be better off if I were gone for good.
No. Oh yeah, those portraits you painted. They were really good. Isn't that right, Edgeworth?
What? Me? Why are you making that face, huh, Edgy? Oh, well, yes, indeed. I certainly can't say that they lack resemblance. Do you really mean it? What about you, Francie? Did I draw you well, too?
My beauty can't possibly be captured by a mere crayon. Nevertheless, I recognize the effort you put into it, and that's worth something.
So then you'll do it, like you promised? You're gonna model for my next picture book? Francie's whipping what?
Oh, don't get carried away.
Well, how about that? I guess painting portraits is the only thing I'm good at. The painting of Pearl was pretty darn good too, if you ask me. Huh? Now that you mention it, I haven't seen her around.
Pearls. Where could she have gone? Normally she would have made a beeline for Maya.
Oh, I'll go look for her. Be right back.
I think we can go to like 3 hours. We've done it before.
Oh my gosh, there's more.
Hey, Burley!
No, that was Maya's. Anyway.
Hey, Pearly.
Right. You seem to be uncharacteristically puzzled. I suspect you are wondering how Maya can be so cheerful despite all that's happened.
Yeah.
To be honest, I can't understand it either.
Francisca. That's right. She lost her father fairly recently as well.
I think I understand how she feels. Maya is a much wiser person than she appears, and I think she realizes something. Now is exactly the time when she needs to be as strong as she can.
What do you mean by now it's exactly the time?
Maya wasn't the only one that was badly wounded by this incident. In fact, there was someone that was hurt far more deeply than she. I believe it's for that person that Maya is trying her best not to cry.
Someone who was hurt more deeply than Maya. Edgeworth, I think I'm starting to understand too.
Ow! So tell me, Phoenix Wright, who is Maya Fey being strong for?
Pearly, of course.
Yes. Pearl Fey?
The poor kid. After all, the reason that she worked so hard to follow the instructions was because she loved and believed in her mother, Morgan. It's for the good of the Fey clan. I'm sure she believed in every last word. Josh, thanks for the like on the stream, brother.
Hey, Josh.
She thought she was doing it for Maya. That's why she was so happy. Shows how truly devoted she is to Maya.
But it's a cruel irony that it was her exuberance that led to this tragedy. Maya Fey's mother was killed, and Maya herself was put into the deepest peril imaginable.
And that's exactly why Maya's putting on a brave face. She's doing it for Pearl's sake. Until she can see her smile again. Oh, hey. Oh, hey, so this is where you all were. Wow, looks like we got quite the... But get out! What was that for, sir?
Sorry about that, Scruffy. My vips just seems to have a mind of its own.
What's up, Detective Gumshoe? Oh, you know, this and that. Anyway, congrats on your win. Let's go out tonight, pal. Dinner's on me. My salary's just sort of kind of gone down by a teeny-weeny bit, but it's all right. I made reservations at a first-class French restaurant tonight.
Pretty good work, Scruffy. That whip was your reward.
Detective Gumshoe, you said a first-class French restaurant. You don't mean...
Uh-oh.
Très bien. Where else? I knew it. We're doomed. Come on, let's go, everyone. Can't keep Waggy waiting, pal.
Mag.
Hey, you, crybaby. You're invited, too.
Oh, forget about me. Pearl and I will be at the loser's shack eating potatoes.
You know, Maya's taking an awfully long time to get back. She's still out looking for pearls. Uh-oh. Oh, Maya. What's wrong?
Nick, what do I do? Pearly, I can't find her anywhere.
Huh? I bet she just went back home. That's all.
I thought so too, so I called the village, but no one has heard from her. This has never happened before.
What? Uh-oh.
Wait a minute.
Well, we're not done yet.
As I figured, she has been badly hurt by this incident. She feels responsible for the tragedy that has befallen you, Maya.
But none of this was her fault. What should I do?
Detective Gumshoe? Yeah, what is it, pal? Could you guys go on ahead? But what about you? Maya and I will join you guys once we find pearls.
Nick,
Don't worry about us, Detective Gumshoe. We may be a little late, but we'll definitely be there. We have a lot of celebrating to do tonight, and I wouldn't miss it for the world. Yeah, but you're the...
very well, Phoenix Wright. Feel go on ahead.
Don't keep us waiting, Wright.
We won't.
But where should we look? Where could Pearly have gone?
Let's go, Maya. There's only one place I can think of that pearls might have gone to.
The inner temple, perhaps? Trying to clean up that spill? February 10th, Hazakura Temple, main gate.
There's more stuff.
How's the current temple?
For pearls, I bet this is a very important place. After all, it's where this whole incident started. What's this? You're all back again so soon?
Sister Bikini.
I thought we'd be eating mashed potatoes alone tonight.
So she's here? Pearly is here?
She's in the training hall. Why don't you hurry along and go see her?
Okay.
All right, let's go.
And here we go. Oh, she cleaned the gravy spill.
Pearly's not here.
Maya, the hanging scroll.
Ah! Someone clean it off.
It's got to be pearls.
Mystic Maya! Pearly! Why did you just leave like that? Mystic Maya! Mystic Maya!
Yay!
I swore that I would never trouble the two of you ever again. Because it's all my fault that Mystic Maya's mother.
That's why you came here?
It's the least I could do to play for your happiness. You don't have to do that, Pearly. It wasn't your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. Of course, I'm sad that my mother is gone. But how do I say this? I'm still happy. You don't have to lie just to make me feel better. No, really, it's true. The only reason I'm still here at all is thanks to everyone who was there for me. Huh. My sis, my mother, Mr. Armando, Nick, and you. If even one of you weren't there, I'm sure I wouldn't still be alive right now. That's why I have to be strong. For all the people that were there for me when I needed them. That's all I can really do. Mystic Maya.
I'm impressed. You truly are the daughter of Mystic Misty.
Sister Bikini.
Your mother, Mystic Misty, was a strong woman indeed. I want to tell you what she said to me that night.
After dishonoring the good name of Karain, I don't have the right to face my daughter. But still, Maya is always in my thoughts. It's true. She'll always be with me until the day I die.
How ironic is that?
Wow.
Your spirit was with her. That's why your mother was so strong. Even at the end, I'm sure she had no regrets.
She'll always be with me until the day I die, huh? There's a rule or something all masters are to follow, isn't there? To never take the charm off until the day you die.
That's the Master's talisman.
The thing that Misty kept by her heart and would never take off. It wasn't the container that was important, rather it was the contents.
That's...
A photo? Ah! Mother.
It's only natural for living creatures to fight to protect their own lives. But what makes us human is that we fight for others. But who do you fight for? How hard must you fight? That's the true measure of what human life is worth. We defense attorneys are warriors who are constantly challenged by that question.
No doubt about that.
Oh no, that wasn't the first time that that horn was broken.
Oh no.
Oh no. Even when the battle is over and the bonds that connect us are severed, we always return, time and time again. Mia, Maya, Pearls, Mr. Armando, and Maya's mother too. I learned that from all of them. Well, shall we get going? Everyone is waiting. This is a day to remember. A day when a lot of things were finally put to rest. I think we should celebrate what we've overcome today.
But I still can't.
Oh, go on, sweetie. You can come back for training any time.
Okay. All right. I'm going to make a brand new start too. Sister Bikini, I'll be back for more training. I promise.
I know, and I won't go easy on you just because you're the future master. I'll make sure to prepare reservations for 3 when you come back.
All right. We're going to have a great feast today, Pearly. You know why? Because training is a battle of endurance. Okay, Mystic Maya, I'll eat lots of food tonight.
I don't know about that Tribulations crap. There's one thing I don't get. Probably don't want to, but...
What is it, Nick?
Reservations for training is fine and all, but why for 3?
Come on, what do you think? You're one of us, Nick. Next time you can train right alongside us.
Huh?
I'll be waiting for you. Sister Bikini will take special care of you.
Huh?
It'll be great, Nick. We're gonna do the special course naturally.
Huh?
That's a great idea. After all, Mr. Nick, you'd do anything for Mystic Maya, wouldn't you? Even walk on hot coals, right? We'll have a nice big meal before we come next time, right, Nick?
I was wondering if I could just say one little thing.
Sure, of course you can. Oh, I love this part. I can't wait to hear it.
I'm getting goosebumps too. Well then, here goes nothing. Objection!
John, if I'm being taken to Tribulations for dinner, just shoot me. Well, folks,
boy.
Thank you so much in the chat for sticking around. Yes, well done, fellas. Thanks.
I really have to work extra hard now. Master of Crane and the office manager are fighting company offices. And I have to be a good big sister to Pearlie and Nick, too. Well, as long as I'm not locked up or captured or something like that.
This was fun. Yes, it was. It was so much fun to do. Thank you guys for sticking around. Now, here's a question that I have for you. This is the end of the game here. What is the next thing you want us to tackle?
So it's true. Mr. Dick Rudy is Mystic Midas Knight in Shining Armor. He went through with a special course all the way to the end. Actually, I heard there's a legendary Expo Special Ultra course here too. I think I'll surprise the two of them by making them a secret reservation.
Yeah, not reading guides
Exactly.
for one.
No, I'm not
I think that's fair.
I'm not going to do that anymore. Well, you think we should tackle another game or continue the series or what?
Well, I kind of want to do. Okay, here we go. Maggie brought me a brand new coat as a present, pal. I feel 10 years younger. I'll never take it off.
Yes, somehow you just don't seem the same. I guess the dirty, shabby old overcoat is just more detective-like, sir.
Don't worry about it. In the name of love, a man will soil himself silly. I do want to. There is a game out there called.
Extra points for German accent. Yes, thanks.
Oh,
Nice.
I guess.
Mr. Wright, I am once again in your debt. Thanks to you, the Treasures of Crane exhibit was a great success. I even got to see Miss Von Karma, who I hadn't seen for almost a year. She taught me how to use a whip and said that I must show you what I've learned.
I'll pass. Yeah. Oh yeah. The German accent from Francisco von Karma.
Yes.
Yep.
Desi and I started a company called Mask to Mask Consulting.
We are dedicated to stopping the evil plans of all the criminals in the city.
Our motto is, cut out, please!
Pretty cute, huh?
Well, we also sell plans to the criminals as a kind of side business. I wonder if that's okay. Sometimes I think maybe we're the worst criminals. Oh, come on, don't you want to get whipped by Von Karma?
No. that hurts.
Nope, not gonna happen.
Oh boy.
I wanted to show my appreciation to Mr. Wright for exterminating Don Tigre. So I lent him $500,000 and a tea set, a special thick tea. When I mix it with my own two hands, but he's drinking it now. Win through compromise.
That's the point.
Oh boy. I'm trying to see if I am Mellow. Do you know if we know you at all in real life?
I'm just old and in the way. Wrinkly, grumpy, clown-nosed waste of flesh. At least that's what I thought. My grandkids had a birthday party for me the other day. Talk about embarrassing. 69 years old and I cried like a baby with a dirty diaper.
69. Nice.
So what's their next project, you guys?
I am Mellow. Do you happen to know us in real life by chance? You may not.
As usual, we have an abundance of work to do. We've hired a new programmer to replace Glenn L. I do hope everyone will get along. His name is Adam Matta. As soon as I heard his name, I knew our brain circuits would align perfectly.
I do not know you guys.
In real life. Oh, okay. That's, hey, whatever. I mean, thanks for hanging around anyway.
My, more reporters. Since the murder, we've made so much money I hardly know what to do. I think the magazines like us because they provide such a nice visual, especially in spring. I can hardly wait for Iris to come back.
Kitty in a bikini. Imagine that.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
Well, we did Paper Mario series one time. Hold on.
You've turned into such a respectful man, Feeny. It was so sweet of you and everyone else to come and visit me here the other day. Of course, I was happy that you constantly had your eyes on me, but I felt kind of bad when the little one slapped you so hard you got a nosebleed.
Even she has a funny voice.
Objection! Ben Grumman Judd.
That's
playing the Fall of Phoenix, right?
Yep. Miles Edgeworth. Played by Sean King.
Sean King, maybe?
Oh, yeah.
Anyway. Mia Fey. Christina Catano.
Never heard of these names.
I mean, it's cool.
Miles Edgeworth, my beloved, yes.
Yep.
That is my favorite character, too.
Objection!
And then there's Godot, a.k.a. Diego Armando.
James C. Wilson.
And he's look at that color.
I do.
And then
Here we go.
Francisca von Karma.
Janet Sue, I guess. Mr. Payne.
Winston Payne, ladies and gentlemen.
David Chrysler.
How the heck would he scream that loud?
Oh,
He's lost.
He could figure something out. Oh my God.
What's this? I'm back from a long and tiring vacation and no one is here to greet me. I guess while I was gone, my little whippersnapper buddy quit and now I got no one. And what kind of lonely, crazy security room is this supposed to be anyway? What with all the flashing lights and switches, I feel like some sort of space alien. And now what am I going to do with all these macadamia nuts I bought back for everyone? 5-year-old age boy, nobody says, singing song. Here, can't say it's unfair or something like this. People with fight so hard. Oh, when I will ever find someone with a flying lady.
Friggin' old bag. I love it.
Oh, brother. We've waited for that.
Oh, Wendy Old Bag. Oh my gosh. Uh-oh.
I finally found something I love to do. Francie's Whippity Whip trip is going to turn the art world on its head. I should have realized it sooner. Self-centered, lazy, antisocial. I'm an artist, a really good portrait artist. I'm not a loser after all. In fact,
The fact that her pupils disappear when she's angry, yeah. Happens to a couple of people and it's equally as disturbing.
Yep. Look at this. Every time the old windbag
Makes an appearance, I lose a week of life. Oh boy.
They're watching over us.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so what do you think should our next project be? Whether it be back to the Mario series or continue with another game from the Ace Attorney series or what? Let us know in the comments below. My brother eventually is the captain behind this ship, and you'll find out what we're going to do next week.
Yep. I have an idea, so we're probably going to go ahead with the idea that I have.
Yes.
Mario is good. Yes, I do like that. So let me go ahead and close this real quick here.
We do know this game called Paper Mario: The Origami King on the Switch.
I mean that'll take a really long time to complete. So that'll be a good project for a good portion of the year because that thing takes like forever.
Yeah, we'll probably
and we won't even really get to all the good stuff. We'll probably just plow straight through like the
story,
the story, and then of course we might screw up in some of the battles. The other idea that I have is the Ace Attorney Chronicles.
The Great Ace Attorney.
The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, which basically chronicles the lives of those that came 100 years before Phoenix Wright. I think the Adventures of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. So, yeah. I mean, it's some interesting stuff. I mean, so yeah, we'll think about it and we'll make an announcement. I mean, if you guys have any ideas, whether it's here in the chat or just post on our Facebook page, just take a look. Otherwise, I am the Cannonball Alex Steele.
I am the Package Angel Steele.
We are the Steele Brothers, and we are for real. Top guys out.
And thanks for the follow.
It took us 3 hours, but we got a new follower. Love you, buddy. Thank you so much. So let me just take a quick peek and see if we can raid somebody.
All right. Did anybody else chat on Facebook or?
I didn't see anything.
No.
So
good night. Right. Yes, of course, and of course, Purple Heart from Triforce Hero, aka.
Yep. So let me see. Who should we drop down on? Good night.
Good night, y'all.
So,
Sandy Ravage, of course. Remember
perhaps, him? Yeah. All right. All right. 3, 2, 1.
The raid has been created.
One viewer is ready to raid Cindy Ravage in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
So, all right. And with that, we are out. Thank you so much.